everyone! Old School Pokemon here, back again with the PokeFlipz podcast, joined by my usual co-host, KetchumAllCollectibles, Dan. How are we doing today, Dan?
I don't even know what to say. Today is a crazy day. Prismatic Evolution is announced. English Master Balls, Surging Sparks out of stock, coming out in a week. Everything is happening. The rocket is fueled. The thrusters are engaged. We are headed into the stratosphere. The moon is like selling it short. I don't even know what our final destination is, but it is not in this solar system. I doubt it is even in this galaxy. The human mind cannot even comprehend the lengths to which this market will take us. I hope that was a satisfactory introduction as to what today will bring. It is all green lines only, rocket emojis only. The only B word, like boom, that's the only B word that is allowed today. We are booming. No other B words exist. What's going on with you today?
No, I'm doing good. Excited for this new set announcement. I am so excited for Master Balls. That is so exciting. And it comes at the perfect time too, because I'm just getting back into opening the newest modern sets. I'm going to be doing with Surging Sparks, which is going to be so exciting. I just got off the phone with my distributor. Southern Hobby is usually that's my main distributor is Southern Hobby, and they're usually kind of slow at getting orders out to me. Normally I've been getting them like Thursday, occasionally on Wednesday, but it's usually like Thursday. And now that I'm in Chicago, my my UPS driver doesn't come until like 7-8 o'clock at night, so it's kind of rough. So if I got them Thursday, it would have been a brutally long night. But so I just got off the phone with him. He's going to ship them out Monday morning, so I'll have them by Wednesday, which is going to be awesome. Be able to open all that stuff. But yeah, having Master Balls in this new set, the one that comes out in January, is going to be so cool to be actually able to have those singles to grade and sell through the lives and all that stuff. I'm super excited about that. I think this is the perfect time to get back into opening the newest sets. Walrus and I were talking about it earlier, and it's going to be interesting to see, like, what are the pull rates going to be for Master Balls? Where it's a specialty set, is it going to be like one Master Ball per ETB, or what exactly is it going to be like? I'll be curious to see what that's like.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I hadn't even my mind was all just rocket emojis and money bags and all that stuff. So this is a specialty set only, right? This is not a...
Yes.
So yeah, will it be one Master Ball guaranteed per ETB? Will it be approximately one per 36 packs, like one per booster box? I know Japan, though, like 151 has 20 packs, not 36. In any case, Master Balls finally in English. One per ETB would be nice. I guess it wouldn't be quite the chase, obviously, right? Is one per 20 packs. But English to Japanese has quite a bit of differences between how many cards are in them and all that, this and that anyways. But I realized I didn't have my lighting set up properly, so I had to fix that. I went to grab this card too. I think all my PSA 9s already sold. You're not supposed to grade PSA 9s. I always say only grade PSA 10s, but unfortunately I did grade some 9s. All my 9s sold at immense profit to what I bought them like 6 weeks ago or whatever. Like, I have a video underway, not this Monday, but the next Monday. It's going to be my graded edge returns, my graded edge plays. And it's just disgusting, like the percent returns that I'm getting off my misses, off my 9s. And I sold on Buy It Now, $185 a pop, all my PSA 9s that I'd had. One person cleaned them out. The amount of people cleaning out like 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 quantity of these PSA 10, $100, multi-$100 cards is crazy. I'm sure we're going to talk about it many times today from many different angles. Oh yeah, and one thing I wanted to say too, the only B word that exists is boom. So this is the boom Mew. Do not use the other derogatory
Boom
word.
you.
We do not take kindly. It is a very dangerous word to use in times like this. So this one is now dubbed the boom you. I don't want to even hear the other word uttered. That's a very scary, dangerous word to use in times like this.
Speaking of grading, you'll be happy to hear this. I just last night, or yesterday afternoon, Walrus listed my one of my PSA 10 Pika and Gray felt hats. For it was $384.95 or best offer, 2% ad rate, and it sold within like 2 hours at the buy it now price. But
next week I have a task to do. Sorry, John, if you're out there listening.
You haven't sent them in yet?
No. So I went through 150, and of the 150, a little over 100 went for grading between PSA, BGS, CGC. I think I mentioned to John, I probably mentioned on my live stream too. I did a bonus live this week. Mr. Consistent, doubling his live stream output due to the absurdity, the insanity that we're in. And quick mention on that. I've had a channel for 3.5 years now. 3.5 years, 5,600 subscribers I just hit. I hit for the first time this week. I hit 40 subscribers in a single day. Mr. Antiviral himself has a new all-time high for gained subscriptions in one day, and that's 40. So that just tells you that might be the most mind-blowing metric of everything that's happening. Is the fact that I gained 40 subscribers in one day. That is entirely unheard of. It's crazy. Where was I going though? I'm so hyped up on all this. I got some Halloween candy in front of me.
Jesus!
I am drinking some calories too.
Progress.
I know. I'm drinking some calories too because it's just an exciting time, and I'm amped for it.
What happened to No More Soda?
That was September. September. I did successfully drop.
Okay.
I to be honest, I might have to do a no soda December to like lead the final charge towards 225. I've seen 229 on the scale multiple times, but like with the Halloween candy, with Thanksgiving coming, with the football season, wedding last weekend, wedding this weekend, IPAs, like I might have to do something drastic in early December so that I can clock 225 on the scale before Christmas happens and then New Year's, because like it is a tough time. Nice weather going away. Kids soccer finished last weekend, so like no more of that. Go and kick the soccer ball around with them. A little bit harder to like go on the Pokemon Go routes with the family when it's going to be worse weather. But I say that, and last night it was like 70, 75 here in New York for our Halloween. Warmest Halloween I ever remember. Talking to my postmaster earlier today when I was dropping packages off. He's like, and he's like 50 something. I don't know what he is exactly, but he's like, warmest Halloween that he ever remembers too. I mean, I'm in upstate New York. We've had a foot of snow on Halloween. We've had rainy, nasty, and it was 75. It was like kids were out there sweating. Poor kids who dressed up in like something that was really big, hairy, scary costumes, long sleeve, long. Kids were sweating out there last night. It was crazy. No green arrow in thumbnail. I'm out. Didn't I put a green arrow in the thumbnail? I think I put a couple cheeky rocket emojis and a green arrow in there. I think I did.
Okay. I'm not seeing a single rocket emoji, no moon emojis.
Did I put up the wrong thumbnail?
This is why we don't have viewers.
No, there is a green arrow.
You did a rocket emoji in the thumbnail. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right on her shirt. So right on. So we're context in the thumbnail. Surging Sparks has not even come out yet. As of yesterday, Surging Sparks was the best set of all time, newest set, best set. But as of today, we're dating. We're getting to know Surging Sparks. We're feeling good about Surging Sparks. Sparks are flying with Surging Sparks. But then, out of nowhere, PokeBeach drops a couple articles, and Prismatic Evolutions walks by, and you know we thought we had something good going. Sparks were flying with Surging Sparks, but now rocket emojis are flying. We're feeling all kinds of tingles. We're feeling all kinds of good stuff with Prismatic Evolution. So we had to we might be in some trouble, but like, who cares? Newest set comes out, moderner, betterer. Prismatic Evolutions is now the best set of all time. Step aside Surging Sparks. You did not yet release, but it was cool. It was cool while it lasted. Anyone who pre-ordered at 100, you've made 50%. without even taking shipment of the product. So congratulations to you for that. I think it's 150 on TCG Player as of right now. Prismatic Evolutions, though, that is the best set of all time as of right now.
I'm going to need to cut you off right there because I'm going to be doing a Surging Sparks release night next Friday. So
too late. I know you mentioned earlier you're getting your stuff a little bit earlier. I emailed my people like 2-3 weeks ago. I emailed my reps with both my distributors. They ghosted. Like a week later, I emailed them again. I'm like, hey, I'm just looking to, historically speaking, I was one of their most patient people. Like, I don't care. Get it to me. I don't really do anything with the product at release. But now that I have Pong and PK live streaming, it's like I kind of need to get it in hand by Tuesday at the latest so that I can get it to them for Friday so that they can stream it if they want to on release.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent an email like, hey, could you get me my stuff out a couple days earlier than normal? None of them replied. I messaged them again. And they're like, okay, like maybe I think I got 1 day earlier out of both of them. Hopefully one of the two will get it to me early enough. Release will be kind of tough. Distributors, you can't really just like ship it willy-nilly wherever you want to. I did ask them, like, can I put a different address on my account? I have people streaming for release. They're like, no, that's not really a thing. That's kind of the answer I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's wild. It is crazy out here. I'm super excited. It's been exciting times in personal life, having a fun wedding last weekend, getting to see Ponga, hanging out. And then this weekend's going to be a lot of fun, another wedding. And things are just going bonkers. YouTube is wild. We got a whole 41 viewers in here. I think we're maybe this channel's not seeing the growth that I guess my own personal channel has with the live stream viewership. But it's early. Maybe we'll have 100. Give it another half an hour. Maybe we'll have 100 people in here. We'll see.
It's got to be me. Nobody likes me anymore. Nobody knows me anymore. That's what it is.
I mean, we're booming. You got to dust off that channel. And give us a Prismatic Evolution update, review, whatever.
I was actually thinking I probably should do because since we'll be opening Surging Sparks, I probably should do a hits video. I wonder how that would do. Just like a dormant channel doing a Surging Sparks hit recap.
What set was that you did one for and it popped off? It did really well, didn't it?
I want to say it was Crown Zenith.
But then I think you did another one. I think you did the next set and it didn't do as well. But Crown Zenith, that's a banger set too. I mean, that would not be surprising that would do well. Let me pull up your channel.
My Crown Zenith one got 15,000 views.
That's crazy. 7 months ago was your last upload. That's crazy.
It does not feel. That's wild. I didn't think it was that long ago.
The issue was between your so you did Scarlet and Violet base. This is
14,000 views. That's
you did a Scarlet and Violet base opening that got 14,000 views. Then you did my challenge. You did my Sporkle challenge in between. And then Peldy Evolved only got 4,000 views. That was your problem. You did
it's because I collaborated with you for a stupid challenge.
I know you did a Sporkle challenge to raise money for charity. Like how could you ruin your algorithm in that way? But yeah, Crown Zenith got you 15K and Scarlet and Violet got you 14K. I guess it's a new block, hype, all that stuff.
Yeah. That's actually funny because Scarlet and Violet. I haven't sold a single pack of Scarlet and Violet base in so long.
Just quickly, let me do the normal spiel. It's been so exciting. I didn't even get to it. But for anyone new here, for anyone I guess old here too, whatever. Thanks for being here. Looking forward to spending the next approximately 2 hours with you. We started a little bit later than normal. It's been a busy week, but we do a Q&A here. So ask your questions in the chat. I will start them as we go along, and we will get to them best we can. There's a pretty solid shot. We usually answer every single question put into the backlog. If we miss it, it's probably starred. We'll get to it later. But if you think we missed it entirely, feel free to drop it again in the chat. But yeah, we're here to hang out. We're here to stonk with all you guys for the next couple hours. So looking forward to it. Let me hit quickly too. Java gifted 10. Thank you very much, Java. But yeah, that's, man, it is a wild time. So you're going to do, that's interesting. That's interesting with like how high the pre-order prices are. historically speaking, when a set comes out, we pay low 90s. They sell on eBay for like 100, best case, maybe mid 90s with P Football Pete, guys like that. So even in spite of your ability to just do no extra effort and just insta sell for profit, you're still going to go through the labor of like opening, mass ripping.
Yeah. I need the singles. I need the singles. I gotta have the graded copies, the ones that aren't gradable. I gotta have those singles available. People want them on the live streams. It's just doing me a disservice not being able to have those cards.
Mm-hmm. Wait, did Prismatic Evolution? Sorry, I mean the Snickers. I thought you were going to talk longer. I thought I had a time for a Snickers break. Oh, it's not sold out. So there's still 2. You can still order 2 of Prismatic Evolutions. Do you buy the PC ETBs or no?
I've never bought them in the past. I did buy some of this one, though.
Top is in. Nick's buying PC ETBs now. I've been holding out. I've bought some here and there, and it's like they make money, but I just want to buy hundreds of them. I don't want to be called a robot by Pokemon Center. I don't want to go through the errors. The amount of time this morning I saw Discord scrolling on the side of my second screen, Discord was just popping off. No matter what Discord you went into, people were posting screenshots of error images. And it's so funny. It's like the same things we go through with grading. Like, oh, there's clearly a limit of 4. No, I didn't get a limit of 4. Well, I got limited to 2. Well, I was able to get 8 orders in. I heard this. I heard like consistently inconsistent. Everything in this hobby is a gamble. Everything in this hobby is like you don't know exactly what you're going to get. And that's part of what makes it what it is. The frustration at times, the victory at times. It's like, it's just so crazy the amount of randomness, the way that it feeds in to the emotion and all that stuff. And like this morning, I just saw tons of people sharing their anecdotal, I'm locked out, I'm buying this. It's crazy. It's just wild.
It really is. It really is.
You never know what morning you're going to wake up and things are just going to be popping off as they are. I mean, I had a feeling the last couple of weeks were pretty crazy. I had a feeling today would be no different. But like Pokemon just goes and piles on additional layers to the already just absurdity that we're going through right now. But yeah, I think at one point I was rambling about gray felt hats, and it's wild what those are doing. I was so close to like, and you were one of the ones. You were one of the ones who had the opportunity. I was trying to loop you in. I mean, I phoned a couple friends. No one was there to gamble with me aside from John, Pokemon Radar. Thank you, John. Had everyone declined, I probably wouldn't have bought any of them myself. I would have kicked myself forever after already having kicked myself over that promo. But clearly, hindsight, it was obvious. I should have bought 5 cases worth. I should have made some more calls. I should have gotten a line of credit on my house. I should have bought 5 cases worth. Because this, it's like it's up. We paid like a 5-10% premium to get a sealed unsearched case. Card's up like 25% now. It's obscene. And then adding all the grading premium in there, if we luck ourselves into a black label or something obscene like that, it would be wild.
That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see what BGS does.
And one conversation I've had it in my office hour. I've had it in multiple different areas in the space with a lot of different people. And let me know your thoughts. Like, is this not in every measurable way more insane than the COVID boom? Like, in my opinion, it's, I guess in some respects, it's not as wide reaching. Like, not everything is popping off. A lot of vintage is, a lot of modern is. There's a lot of random niche stuff that isn't really seeing absurd gains, but there's a ton that is. The biggest thing for me is, like, I think it's crazier this time because everything's open. Pokemon's printing at an unprecedented rate, more than double what they were printing during that year in 2020-21. PSA's grading at a rate more than double that they were. and submissions are coming back like crazy. I've gotten over 1,000 cards back in the past week. So like in spite of all these things being open, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, I have gray felt hat grades from Beckett.
Oh boy.
Oh man, I need to look at those quickly after I'm done ranting and rambling about this boom versus the last one. But I lost my train of thought a little bit. But yeah, like back then, grading companies closed. Logistics, worldwide shipping, all those kinds of things, raw materials getting to the printers, printing facilities closed down for some amount of time. Like all these considerations, there was a lot of like artificial, short-lived logistic concerns that exacerbated the boom. People couldn't go to the bar. People couldn't go to sporting events. People couldn't go on vacations back then. So like all this perfect storm, all these things funneling money and attention into Pokemon, none of that's happening. I went to a wedding last weekend. I'm going to a wedding this weekend. People were going to the World Series. People like everything is out there. Everything is ready to take our money, but Pokemon is getting, and it's not just Pokemon. If you look broadly, my video this Monday will be a review of my palette and how that's going, mine and my dad's palette. And that's up. The Dow's up. The S&P 500's up. Silver, gold, crypto, like everything is up. So it's not just Pokemon by any means, but Pokemon is doing crazy things amongst all this. So yeah, I said a lot there, but what are your thoughts? Distilling it down to my original question to you, like today's boom versus the previous boom, do you think it's not as crazy? Do you think it's crazier? Do you think it's sustainable? Do you think it's going to end the same way? And I guess I didn't address all that either.
That's a good question, actually. I think it is crazier in the sense, like you were saying, where everything is open and more widely available. But at the same time, I don't think it's as crazy because there's not nearly, I don't think there's nearly as many new people coming in. Like we don't have the whole Logan Paul hype and mainly that the 25th anniversary, the hype of that. I don't think as many people came in during this time frame with 151 and Scarlet and Violet and all that stuff. But pricing wise and liquidity wise and all of that stuff, I would say it's definitely more so than even 2020 was. Just with how well things are doing, and I hope it's here to stay. I have no idea. I can't imagine it continues like this. With like look at like ZMG Emporium, the stories or posts he's making on Instagram, showing all these like 151 sales. And prices just like doubling week over week. And then the gray felt hat skyrocketing in price. And look at how many graded copies are out there. It's insane the amount of graded copies that are out there, but these prices are just continuing to go up. So I don't know. Maybe it does just continue to go up for a while. Indefinitely, definitely not. How long it'll last? I have no idea. Pokemon's doing everything right now. There's so much momentum behind Pokemon between like the sets we were talking about, and then even like we haven't touched on this yet, but TCG Pocket. I think that's absolutely massive for Pokemon. I didn't think I was going to be much into that, but that's actually really fun. I've even been thoroughly enjoying that, and I think there's a lot of people who really enjoy that. Pokemon's going to make an absolute boatload of money off of that from people buying extra hourglasses and gold bars and all that type of stuff. And I think that's going to get more people into the hobby as well. I didn't think that was going to be the case, but I do think that now, with how well that game is so far. And once they open up like the ability to trade with your friends and stuff like that, I think that could be another thing that makes Pokemon go wild. But yeah, no, everything is just going so well for Pokemon, and there's no signs of it slowing down. After this Eevee set, we get a Team Rocket set that's going to be coming out. So what is going to stop this madness? I don't know. I hope this continues for foreseeable future, and I can kind of see it stopping, but at the same time, it's like, why is it continuing to? Why are prices continuing to increase despite all of these graded copies available? So I don't know. I hope it continues, and it's looking bright for Pokemon.
It was looking bright until you bought PCETBs. If and when the market crashes, Nick was the cause. Nick was the cause.
But more importantly, we need a live grade reveal. Drum roll.
Oh yeah. So I sent 18 cards. So I sent 18 of the cleanest gray felt hat. And I could be wrong here. Actually, no, hold on. I was gonna say something. I don't think you can tell from within your grades the difference between a pristine gold 10 and a black 10. Can you on Beckett?
Really? I don't know. I've only done one ever Beckett submission.
You can tell by the pop report though, if you know how many were and with this one, I know there was only one. There was only one black label. So let me see. It's gonna take me like 25 minutes to pull up the Beckett pop report, but no record found.
Oh, figures.
Oh, the black label pop report still won.
Damn it!
I don't know when they get added to the pop report, but I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 pristine 10s. Pristine 10s of Gray Felt Hat Pikachu, at least before we graded them. I don't know what they're going for now. They were over $1,000.
Yeah.
Over $1,000. So 4 10s and then the rest 9.5s. I'll have to see if they're quad plus pluses. I don't know if the market cares about that. I don't know if I'll be able to get like a premium on a quad plus plus. But if I could get even, I mean, it was, I paid up. I paid more to get these ones graded through quicker. So I paid $700 in grading fees on 18 cards. I'll probably crack out all the 9.5s if they don't have a premium, if they don't go for the same. Or even if they go for a little bit less, like I'll be happy to take whatever they go for. But I'm sure all or most of the 9.5s will be PSA 10s. These were like the mintiest, most centered, nicest of the nice ones I had. And yeah, so you do the math on $700 grading fees. Well, the plus for like $4,000 right there from the 4 big ones that hit, and then having to re-roll. Yeah, like I think that was very plus EV sending to Beckett instead of entirely sidestepping Beckett and only going PSA, only going CGC. So I think that was a worthwhile endeavor. In my mind, it was like, I hope we hit at least 2. I kind of thought 2 was like the number that I had to see for flat 10s. And then the extreme upside of it too. Like if we were to hit a black label, it would have been as obscene. Maybe we did, maybe it didn't enter the pop report yet. But yeah, little live update. Maybe John's out there. I'll have to text him after this that we did get our grades. But yeah, that's what I thought about Dan's dad buying in, but boy was I wrong. So
oh, the other thing I wanted, speaking of that, has it already been 6 months? Is this your 6-month update? Man.
Today I'm gonna be recording it. I'm gonna be recording it tonight. It was May 1st, 2024 that I pulled, like I timestamped all the prices for gold, silver, Bitcoin, all that stuff. So I'm gonna do the same thing tonight. I'm going to just say like, hey, and one thing that I'm gonna be big on in all my videos, and I've been trying to just be more vocal about this, transparency, all that stuff. The amount of cosplayers out there, like Nick and I are actual Pokemon businesses with actual Pokemon allocations, with sales numbers. We buy a lot, we sell a lot. We are in the market. We're not just talking about it, farming affiliate clicks. That is an epidemic in the Pokemon space. That is an epidemic in so many spaces, in YouTube, even broader outside of Pokemon. So I think it's more relevant when someone is actually walking the walk and not just talking the talk, trying to get you to click links and get ad revenue. And though we do get some ad revenue, though we do have affiliate links for you to click, like all that stuff. But I think it's important to actually hear from people and don't trust us blindly. Don't trust anyone blindly. Like all these things are your adult decisions to make with your own money. It's scary. It is so scary in so many ways how things like this happen. Like Surging Sparks is the same set that it was a month ago. And you could have ordered it by the pallet from Hills Wholesale Gaming. I bet you could have gone on Hills Wholesale Gaming and bought 600 boxes for $100 a piece. And some amount of people were, but like the fact that the price has gone up 50%, the set hasn't come out. And now let me see what Hills is. Hills is now $135 a box. I guarantee you, partly because I know they won't come back and say anything, but I can almost guarantee you, and you might be able to say, well, it's a week out from release now, so naturally it's going to be more hype. I can almost guarantee you, I will almost guarantee you that Hills is selling significantly more pre-sales today than they were 2 months ago at 100. And yeah, again, you can say, well, the set's closer to coming out, but it's because the price is up 35%. Price goes up, people want to buy. Price goes down, people forget about it. Like as going back to answering my own question that I posed to you of how long and if this will sustain, and I will give the only true answer anyone can give. I have no effing idea. Nobody has any idea. Pokemon could have been printing, because there's so many things you can go to. There's so many things you can go to. Like historically, this is reprint season, right? Like right before the holidays, a lot of times they've come in and they've reprinted Chilling. They've reprinted a lot of sets in this time of year. And we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen that to a drastic extent. We've seen it with some here and there. But maybe Pokemon has put all their printing. Maybe Prismatic, maybe Surging Spark. And I know you hear the allocations getting cut some. My allocations were flat. It's all going to be anecdotal. It's all going to be varying. It's all going to depend on the store, depend on the sales rep, depend on the distributor. It's going to be case by case. Some people's things were flat. Some people's went down slightly, but they could be doing this to make the price go up a bunch. And then Pokemon just releases a wave 2 weeks later. That's the same size as this one. And then a wave 3 and then a wave 4. Like they can print such an absurd amount of this that any set can go down. Any set can be printed to the extent that it will be an $80 booster box that people don't want. Because if people can have it too easily, they don't want it. So now that's what could happen. There's some percentage. I would attribute a very small percentage to that. As I was saying, the downside, I saw we lost a few viewers. So let me go to the upside now. What also could happen, and I released a short like 6 months ago that I still stand by. I think I said 6 months ago-ish, maybe not even 6 months ago. I said I bet there will be a $300 Scarlet and Violet era booster box within the next, I forget if I said year or 2 years. And it's funny, I got some pushback on that, and it's like, I think it's reasonable to push back on that, but I was just guessing. It's like, there's no stakes here. I am invested in them. I do have a lot of them, but like to just throw out a wild guess, like who cares? It's a guess. That's most of what Pokemon YouTube is. People just guessing. I say that I'm guessing. People make it sound as if they know what's going to happen. And then a set does double and it's like, oh, well, you must be a millionaire now. Oh no, I had 2 boxes. You said you knew it was going to go to this and you have 2 boxes. What are you talking about? Like that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. I just like to give transparency so that you can know exactly what I mean by what I'm saying, and you can know what I don't mean by what I'm saying. Because I'm getting 38 cases. I'm getting 38 cases of Surging Sparks. I'm going to send some to Panga. I'm going to send some to BK. I'm going to have a couple cases on eBay to sell at like 50% gain over what I paid, probably to lower my cost basis on the remainder. But I'm not like fire selling them. Say the price does go to 200. If I can get 1,200 a case within the next few months, I will probably sell from like, say I have 26 cases that aren't counted for. I'll probably sell half of them. I'll probably sell 10 to 16 cases at 1,200 a case if I'm able to, so that I functionally have the remaining 10 for free. And then I'll just kind of sit on them and see. Because like here's the upside, here's the downside. In a year, Surging Sparks could be 80. Surging Sparks could be 80 shipped by PFootballP on eBay. It could be that dark. That there's, whether it's 5%, whether it's 15%, there's a percent chance that could happen. Surging Sparks could also be $300 sometime within the next year. Vivid Voltage just a few years ago, and that was the pandemic that had the different logistics concerns. But like this market is so bonkers, people are so crazy, so stonky. Like it could be $300 sometime in the next year. It could be both. Surging Sparks could be $300 6 months from now, and then $80 a year from now. No one knows. Like genuinely, no one knows whatsoever. We're all just navigating this the best way we know how. And talk versus walk. I told you what I will be doing. If it gets to 300 within a year, I will probably only have 4 cases left. I will have the 4 cases left that I put on the pallet that I own with my dad, and I will have none else. And if it gets reprinted again, I'll be a savant, because then I'll just rebuy my 38 case stockpile at a lower price. And if it goes to 700 within 3 years, 4 years, like evolutions, like Evolving Skies, like evolutions at year 4, 5, 6, like team up a few years later, then I'll be the biggest dummy around, because people that had their cases and sat on them, but like nobody knows. It's like, place your bets, see what happens. It's crazy though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm scared to sell. I do 4 cases of like 4 cases set back. Never sell them. I'll sell them at some point, but never sell them. I don't know if I would necessarily. So once I get into like to that low reserve, I don't know if I necessarily would sell them. Even if they did get like $300 a box, you're making a ton of money. But the way Scarlet and Violet has been going, we haven't seen additional booster boxes. We saw a little bit of Paldea, but we haven't seen anything else. So it makes me wonder if are you going to see another reprint of Surging Sparks, or whatever Scarlet and Violet set.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's crazy, because obviously Surging Sparks is doing what it's doing. Is Surging Sparks going to take a little bit of a short-term blow as people insta-sell for the 50% profit, pushing the prices down some, saving up for whatever the hell it's called, Prismatic Evolutions? You literally just had said it. I have it on my monitor over here, and I forgot it already. But yeah, like, are people going to start just dumping their Surging Sparks to lock in that 30 to 50% gain after fees, and then like stockpile money for Prismatic Evolution and for the rocket set? Like, no idea. Me personally, I said exactly what I'm going to do. So like, if it hovers at 900 a case, if it hovers at a $150 booster box, I'll probably trickle a case or two a week. I'm sure like what I do is I do a 2% ad rate, and I sell 10% above market. So if I'm selling mine, there'll be $160, $165 booster boxes, but like $1,000 case. But it's just wild out here. It's just absolutely wild. It's not really feast or famine, because to call things a few weeks ago famine is wild. But it is truly price goes up because price goes up. It is truly, once people are engaged and looking, like, everything is just to the moon. Once, I mean, and somebody said, I started the comment. I think it was Walrus. Podcast title says boom. Viewership numbers say lull. Hashtag lies. 70 viewers. I can't remember. It's been a while since we pulled 70 viewers. We're not quite double what we normally are, but we're up a solid 50%, if not slightly more. So take that, Mr. Walrus.
Take that, Mr. Walrus.
So let me. I'm trying to keep up with chat, getting these things started. I have so many questions started. I'm gonna try to find the next place to go. But yeah, let's see. I think this was Java. Which set is going to English Master Balls? Must have been. English Master Balls are coming in Prismatic Evolutions. That's going to be our set that gets them, it looks like. Ponga with the plug you got to do every episode. Check out _retrospecs on Instagram for cheapest Japanese booster box prices. We got retrospecs saying it's almost like Pokemon knows what they're doing. And this is like a huge point that I've stressed many, many times over the past 2 years. And I'm going to have to throw PK under the bus. Sorry, PK. I saw you went live twice today. And it's not something you said today, but it's something you said in a past live, maybe a month or two ago. He said something like, if I worked at Pokemon, I would make them so much more money because I would just tell them to print more of everything. Like, I think it was with respect to the world stuff. I think Pokemon is navigating all this brilliantly. I think the worst thing Pokemon could do is try to, what's the saying? Like, kill the golden goose. Don't kill the golden goose. To keep everyone guessing, to keep everyone on your toes, you need world merch to be exclusive. You need the scalping. You need YouTubers saying, think of the children. You need all that. That is all their marketing. Pokemon has a brilliant marketing department. Pokemon has a brilliant way that they navigate overproduction and underproduction of certain things to keep them desired, keep them exclusive. Because honestly, this stuff is literally intrinsic value 0. This stuff has no underlying value. If everyone could have it, if they printed 10 billion Boom Mews, because it's a Boom Mew. If they printed 10 billion Boom Mews, this would be a 1 penny card. This would be worth almost nothing. If everyone can have it, it's worth nothing. Pokemon navigates so well, printing to demand, but intentionally not reprinting team up, intentionally not reprinting. Because like those things aren't made by accident. Those things are made. I am convinced this is not tinfoil hat. Pokemon is wise to let some sets evolve in skies. And you'll say, oh, it got 4, 5, 6 reprints. They tried not to. If Pokemon wanted Evolve in Skies to be a $120 booster box, I promise you it could be. I promise you. I'm not saying right at release they could keep certain sets from going to the moon, certain sets stonking out. But 2 years after release, if Pokemon wanted to ensure a set was $120, I promise you they could do that even in this environment. Maybe they would have to make it so like every other set was 150 plus because they'd have to underprint all those. But like saying that you would tell Pokemon to just print more of everything, that is way too oversimplified. That is not the profit maximizing way to navigate through a monopoly. Monopolies maximize profit with underproduction. Pokemon has a monopoly over these characters that we love, over Pikachu, over Charizard, over like that is what they do with intent. What do you think on that? Do you think they know what they're doing?
My thoughts are starting to change a little bit. Maybe the boom mentality is going straight to my head, but does Pokemon have the ability to print these sets into the ground? Or are they printing at such a high volume that they really can't go back and reprint? I don't know anything about printing and how long it takes and all that stuff, but why haven't we seen Scarlet and Violet reprints? Is it because they're purposely saying, okay, we think we're at a good point right here. Let's just hold off and let the market do what the market does? Or is it because they're at capacity right now and there's no other availability to print additional cards for reprint type sets? I would love to be a fly on the wall at what's that place called? The print group, Millennium Print Group, and see if are there printers constantly running and stuff is getting constantly printed, or are there weeks where it's like just dead time and there's nothing being done? I am starting to get curious about that. Because we're seeing record numbers of cards getting printed every year. So did Millennial Print Group prepare for this type of capacity where they can handle this with ease, or is it a situation where they didn't think it was going to be this type of capacity, so now they're kind of reaching their capacity and they're not able to do these types of reprints, or what's up there? I have no idea. But it is kind of interesting that we haven't seen hardly any reprints. I do wonder what's up there.
I think during the pandemic, they were actually limited by constraints, like due to the market and this and that. Mm-hmm. But like printing paper, printing shiny cardboard is not like rocket science. Printing shiny cardboard, like these pieces of equipment. Shout out Mason Cardinal Gaming. He made a great video like how it's made style to some extent. He pulled a bunch of videos off. He gave some commentary on like videos from Millennium Print Group. It is high tech. It is not the laser printer that is next to me. It is not the thermal printer that is next to me. It is not those things. But if they wanted to, if Millennium Print Group, like, and I could be wrong here. Maybe I'm way outside my depth. Maybe some printing expert in the chat will push me back here. But like if Millennium Print Group wanted to just invest a ton in the future, I'm pretty sure that's just a matter of money. It's a matter of getting that capital expenditure. It's just a combination of like, if you give the market too much all at once, you risk the junk wax thing. We've talked about it in the past. Pokemon still remembers. There are people at Pokemon that still remember almost dying in the early mid 2000s. Pokemon was almost dead between 2003, 2008, somewhere in that vicinity. They don't want to do that again. So I'm quite confident that they are consciously giving the market like less than it fully wants so that they don't have that big glut. There are record numbers of people breaking the product. Look at all the pops on these 1 out of 1,000 pack chase cards. There's a record number being broken, but there's also a record number being invested in. Distributors are investing in product to some extent. When they get a reprint of a thing, instead of just offering it out at wholesale, offering it out at, hey, Dan, you bought 180 of this box at release for $92.50. We have 60 more for you at $92.50. They say, no, Dan, if you want to, it's on the website. You can buy 6 a week at $140 a piece. Like that's what they're doing. That's whether you want to call it investing. I do that functionally, and I'm calling an investor. So like, if we're going to call me an investor over it, let's call the distributors investors over it, which is a scary thought, distributors investing. And if you don't want to call it investing, at minimum, they're retailing. Distributors are retailing product more than they ever have been historically. So, I mean, to be fair, I wasn't around in 1999. Maybe they were doing that in 1999 as well. But it's wild. Thoughts about talking about reprints, 2 sets in the future. Yeah, it's crazy. Let me continue through. Isn't there speculation about the trainer Pokemon and tag teams being included in Prismatic Evolutions? I have no idea. I'm one who does not keep up with spoilers extensively, but like certain times spoilers, you can't get around them. I'm in Discord, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. There's no way anyone that is like as deep down the rabbit hole of Pokemon content, I could not avoid it today. So I know that Master Balls exist, not because I saw that information, but because that information was like just it assaulted everyone in the Pokemon space today. You could not have avoided that. It's like, even if you were under a rock this morning, it like would have just pierced through the rock. It would have exploded. Like you could not have sheltered yourself from this information had you tried this morning. It's wild. How to gain subscribers. Make content during boom, especially.
Oh, shout out to Retro. You're killing it over there, Mr. 7 figures this year. Congrats to you.
7 figures of net profit. That is impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's 7 figures of profit, we're going to have to discuss your Japanese booster box pricing.
Here's a question that's recent. Why is Dan against PC ETBs? 151 have almost quadrupled in a bit over a year, and the set will have close, if not more, hype. The EV promo will be desired, guaranteed. The G word. We love the G word.
That is a definite guarantee.
The biggest reason that I don't like them, and I think the last time that I bought over 100 of the Celebrations one. So I like the thought of them in some ways. Two-pronged here. So I'm going to give you the whole answer here. I like that everyone is on theoretically level playing field in that it is only available for retail plus sales tax. They don't take sales tax exemptions. So it's nice that it's accessible by everyone at the same level playing field. And like Football Pete isn't paying 10% less than I am if he wants to get them. That's also a con though, because instead of me paying 30 on a 50 MSRP Elite Trainer box and not paying sales taxes, I'm paying the same as Joe Schmo, right? I like that I'm paying the same, but I also don't like that I'm paying the same in some regards. And the biggest thing to me is like, okay, I'm not as liquid as I like to be today, but like let's work through this process. When I see a play that I really like, here's a direct example. 3 weeks ago, I put $24,000, $48,000 with John. John's a 50% partner in this play. I put $24,000 in one card. So it's like, okay, I love PC ETBs. Here's 50 grand. I'm all in, baby. Here's 50 grand. What does that functionally look like? That is a nightmare. It is a nightmare. I guess I need to find someone who has a bot who does all that stuff. Like, I'm not a huge fan of botting out releases. I'm not a huge fan. And I've had this conversation. I had this conversation earlier today in office hour. I want to say I had this conversation in my live earlier this week too. When Costco brings a pallet of 151 to or Crown Zenith, whatever it may be, I don't buy where end consumers buy. I don't enter giveaways myself personally. I think those things are more like for the end consumer. I understand the sentiment behind, like, think of the children, scalping, yada, yada, yada. Like, I don't really like buying as a business where consumers are meant to be the buyers, if that makes sense. Like, I don't care that people do it. I don't actually care about the whole think of the children argument, but I'm not one who participates in those scalping behaviors in that way. I have access to wholesale distribution, and that's where I buy. So, because logistically, if I want to buy, my allocation of Surging Sparks is around $50,000. I just email my rep and boom, boom, they charge my card, done, and it shows up. If I want to buy 50 grand in PCETBs, it's a nightmare. I gotta go and I gotta like, and I told Nick before we started, like, I might get in trouble. Most of what's happening today, today is like the market that we're in. What's going on? What the consumers of the 151 PCETBs are? It's like there are people on the clock with their 9-to-5 job. They have posted 700 times today in Discord. They've posted in 27 different Discords. They've posted in 7 different live streams. Hey, are your orders getting canceled? Are you able to check out? I can only get 2 in my cart. I can't do that. I can't spend 15 minutes trying to place an order for 2 PCETBs and then have it canceled. Like, my whole desk is covered. I'm trying to, like, keep Ponga and PK fed with respect to, like, the whole live streaming thing. I'm trying to source a lot of stuff. I'm trying to work with, like, consigning stuff. I can't spend an hour in Discord at my 9-to-5 job that I'm double dipping on the clock for, screwing around trying to buy, like, oh my God, I'm gonna, like, these things are gonna double. And then the average person who's, like, spending a whole day worrying about this, and it's like they're buying 2. It's like, what are we even talking about here? I'm not talking about you, Pixel Katana. I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but, like, I'm kind of talking about everyone too. I'm kind of talking about everyone. It's like, what are we even doing here? We're like, that's why I don't go after an item like that. Part of the reason I don't go after an item like at Costco, I have one Costco 40 minutes away. I don't care to get into an interaction where, like, I have the means. I could go with my credit card. I could go with my dad's pickup truck. I could buy a pallet of whatever 151 scalpable, flippable product they have. I buy from the people who do that, though. I just buy from the people who do that, and I still make money. So, like, I need something that's more scalable. PCETBs are not that scalable. I don't want to spend 4 hours in a day trying to buy 44 ETBs and make a couple $100 or make $1,000, whatever. If that makes any sense. What do you think on that?
So TLDR, Dan doesn't want to associate with you peasants.
Yeah. But partially you peasants, partially you scalper monsters, think of the children. Like, all of that in one is what I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. My biggest thing is one, like you said, it's tough to get them, and 2, ETBs are absolutely the worst product ever. I hate ETBs in collection boxes. I wish we could just go to booster boxes. They take up so much space.
Guy says, I'd hate to make thousands in 4 hours. Sounds horrible. And the thing is, like, right now, 151 is crushing it. A lot of ETBs are crushing it. So, like, it's so obvious. People fail to account for the reality that it might be a $60 ETB, and clip it if you want to in a year. Tag me on Instagram. Tag me on tag me wherever. It might be a $60 ETB in a year. You might have a couple grand in dead money. But if it doesn't happen, and I'm going to do this in my video for Monday. I haven't filmed it yet. But, like, whatever happens, happens. That statement sounds so silly to say out loud. But, like, clearly whatever happens, happens. And people will conflate correctness of decision with outcome. They will, yeah. So say you go into a casino. It is irrefutably, I think everyone could agree that if you go into a casino with your life savings and you put it all on black, I think everyone could agree that is a bad decision, right? It is inherently negative EV. If everyone in the world did that, the casino would get very rich. 47% of people would double their life savings. 47% of people would lose their life savings. It is inherently an incorrect, wrong decision. But if you do it and you win, people think I made the right call. I just doubled my money. Look at the outcome. It was a correct decision because the correct outcome happened. You need to be very careful doing that. I'm saying that partially. I'm speaking out loud to myself. In the past 6 months, you could have had your money anywhere. You could have had your money anywhere. And you feel smart because it went up a lot. Just because you made money doesn't mean you were right. Just because you made money, even if you were right, doesn't mean you're smart. Like right now, in this environment, you just need to be careful. You need to be careful to some extent. Like most people that are pre-ordering the ETB right now, they're doing it on the clock of their job. They're going to spend $120. Who cares? They're going to get one order in. Like 90% of the consumers of that PC ETB will get one order through, and maybe they'll make $100. And it's like, who cares? Like, what are we even talking about? Who cares? I don't know if that rant makes any sense, but like there is some outcome where that thing just triples, and you're selling them next year, 6 months from now for $200 a piece. Haha, Dan, that guy's dumb. He didn't buy any. Great for you. I don't care. I hope that's the case. That means Pokemon's doing well. But like, what are we actually talking about here? What are we? It's like, especially over the past 6 months, everything is just on fire right now. Everything is crushing. So yeah, I personally am not partaking because I can't do it in a scalable way. There's no way for me to put a measurable amount of money into it in a reasonable way that isn't immensely frustrating and annoying. So I'm not doing it.
I think that makes sense for you.
Oh man, Alex just ended. He said, when you come on for a live, you need to show me how to raid. I would have sent everyone here. I think Alex just had like 7,000 live viewers. So we would have just, I don't know what he actually had, but I saw over 500 at one point. So that would have been wild. But yeah, I will do that. I'm going to be going on Alex's channel at some point, hopefully soon, for a live stream. And I know he wants some help with like OBS. StreamYard is beautiful, but there's a lot of things I like about OBS. And I'm going to show him the back end of OBS, how to set things up. Because even when you're using StreamYard, do you use OBS virtual camera right now or no?
No, I just use the StreamYard.
Like OBS virtual camera is so nice, being able to go to like a second screen if I wanted to pull up a chart. I know in StreamYard you can do that too, but you can do different things. You can do different things with with OBS virtual camera. But anyways,
yeah, but what you can't do is see you in real time.
No. That's when we did Discord. So we're in StreamYard now. So I'm using OBS virtual camera.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Never mind.
So right now I'm using OBS virtual camera within StreamYard instead of OBS virtual camera within Discord. But anyways, I am all aboard rocket ships, green charts, all that stuff. But like, keep in mind the fact that, and as we speak right now, I'm going to pull up Pokemon Center. There are certain Pokemon Center ETBs that are like still available that are fairly old, right?
So Mr. I can't be worried about Pokemon Center ETBs is talking a lot about Pokemon Center ETBs.
Well, like people are.
You could have easily got your order in with this half-hour rant on why you don't like Pokemon Center ETBs.
There's a bunch of people in chat still asking why they can't get them through. If they can get them through, like there are good sets where the booster boxes are doing very, very well. So again, drilling more down into my line of thinking, I have 38 cases times 6 times 9250. I have $21,000 of Surging Sparks booster boxes coming. That for me to place a $22,000 order was so easy. If you look in hindsight, because that's what we love to do. We love to only look in that hindsight. Like if you look at Twilight Masquerade, I put 20-something grand into booster boxes. I crushed it. People who put in Pokemon Center ETBs, they're still available. Stellar Crown still available. I don't know why it's showing some non-Pokemon Center ones, but let me make sure these are all Pokemon Center ones. Astro Radiance Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box still available. Shrouded Fable, but that set sucks. But my point is that some of these sets could end up being available for a long time. Some of these sets could be some amount of dead money. And the last part of it, the most relevant part of it, to be honest, is like if I have a play that I want to pursue, I want to put minimum $5,000 into it. I don't want to put $500 into something. And when it takes me an hour to put $500 across 5 orders, changing addresses, changing billing addresses, if someone has a bot that will do that, like, I don't want to be the one using the bot. I don't want, like, sell to me. I will be an instant buyer from you for like a 5 or 10% premium. You don't do anything. You just like, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm thinking of the children. I don't want to go to Costco and buy the whole pallet. Someone else do that and sell to me at 75 to 80%, and I'll be there buying from you.
On quick thing on the flip side, though, it makes sense for you where you want to do bigger plays, but for regular people, as Dan would say, you peasants, for the regular people, I do think Pokemon Center ETBs make sense because you can pick and choose. Like for us, we can't get our allocation of Surging Sparks and not order Shrouded Fable or not order Stellar Crown. Those lesser type sets. But for you guys doing the PC ETBs, you can easily skip Shrouded Fable and just go for 151 Surging Sparks, the EV set. You don't have to get the garbage sets. Whereas if we skip the garbage sets, our allocations on the good sets would be much lower.
See, in here, Retro says, Dan, give me your credit card info and I'll buy it for you for 5%. But like in a year when it's still flat, like people just, it is all, and I'm like not following my own guidelines that I said earlier. Today is only boom. Today is like rocket emojis only. I'm giving too much downside possibility. But like, there's a chance that this is dead money in a year. And I have better opportunities. Like anyone investing, the biggest single consideration for an investor is, well, I guess 2: opportunity cost and risk. I'm less liquid than I would like to be right now. And I have better things. I have better things to plow $5,000 into today than these ETBs is what it comes down to. Like I have better things to put in, and $5,000 would be hard to put into that. Is anyone in chat? We've got all these stonkers in chat, 81 people. Has anyone successfully gotten through $5,000 worth of orders into these ETBs?
There's no shot.
Maybe no one was going for that anyways, but like, okay, like this is where I really push back too. So if they are as juicy, guaranteed, they're going to triple, blah, blah, blah. How is no one in chat put $5,000 into them? If it's free tendies, if it's free money, like how has no one put $5,000 into them? So I'm calling out all of chat, everyone who's stonking, saying these things are going to be $200 and 151 PC ETBs did this, did that. Someone in chat, call yourselves out if you put $5,000 into them. Like
it's
I don't
impossible to. If you get blocked every time, that'd be so complicated.
Ethan says he doesn't have 5K. How could you not have 5K though? If you knew this was going to triple, like that's what I'm coming up to.
Okay, mister.
Oh man. I don't know. I tried. That's the thing. Like I know what these releases look like. I know what it looks like. That's the biggest part of the reason. Internet person says $500 was already painful. I don't really have an interest in buying $500 worth of stuff that might go up $1,000 and might be flat in a year because I've got other things to buy with that money. That's money's fungible, opportunity cost. I've got other opportunities to seek that are a lot less headache, that have just as much, if not more upside, is what it comes down to for me. So like, and I know like Nick, you said you put it in an order earlier. You bought like one purchase of 4 probably, right?
2.
2 purchases of 4?
No, 2 purchases of 2. No, 1 purchase of 2. Because it was limit 2.
Like I do not care to buy 2 of something. I do not care to buy.
You don't care about your live viewers. I care about my audience in the live streams.
I care so little to buy 2 of anything at this point. It's just like I can't do anything with 2 of something. I mean, I have 2 streamers that each could only get 1. And what are we going to do there? Wait, what bet are we talking about? Did I miss it? $50. I'll bet you $20. These ETBs will be at least 120 in 1 year. $50 question mark. He won't take my bet. I'm too much of a peasant. I don't want to do fantasy football unless it's over 250 buy-in. So they absolutely could be. They absolutely could be. I'll take the bet, but we need to establish guidelines of what the bet is. So because PC ETBs especially have this issue with, like, sometimes they're on Pokemon Center available in stock and they're 50% higher on TCG Player or something. Mm-hmm. So like it needs to be sold out on Pokemon Center, because obviously if it's on Pokemon Center, it's $60. And where are we? So he said 120. It needs to be 120 in 1 year. So by 11/1/2025, it needs to be selling for 120. Buy it now and auction. So if it buy it now is one time in the past month for 130 and it auctions for 90, that is not. I know, Mr. Java Akuma, we have the pushback with like auction versus buy it now. So I will take the bet, but I want auctions. I want actual price. I want actual liquidation price to be above 120. If you agree, let's take it. I'm not weaseling at all. I'm just defining the bet.
I don't know. You're going to come up with this random I found a random website.
That's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to do. There's going to be one buy now for 120.
Dark web and found this one ETB that sold for $20.
That's exactly what he's going to do. So he's going to see one buy it now for 125. I win the bet, and every auction is going to be like 80 to 110, and I will have truly won, and these will be 120 by summer.
I think you should just do low list on eBay and TCG Player. Like low buy it now list.
See, not low list. I don't want to do low list.
That makes it so much easier. Because if you go by sold, you can have one sale that's below 120, and you'd say, "Oh, I won the bet." Where Java has 99 other sales above 120.
Just like when I buy slabs, I buy at like 80% of the last few sales. I don't use the alt value as gospel. I use the actual sales. But like this bet is so like part of the reason why I bet on here is because Vegas just knows what they're doing. It's infinitely scalable. I try to make a bet in here, and he's gonna say that I'm the one trying to this, that. I think he's doing the same thing. I'm trying to clarify the definition of it. Like I don't care to make a $50 bet where we have to have a 5-minute conversation about what the terms are. I can make, and I don't like $50 is about my average bet, probably slightly higher than my average bet. There's no pushback. There's no back and forth. I could make a $5,000 bet in 5 seconds without any question of like, it's just that bet is indicative of what PC ETBs are. A pain in the ass. That is just a pain in my ass that's not even worth pursuing. Java, I accept your bet. Let us know in chat if you accept it. But like, define it. Define it.
Dan will send you the 100-page contract of all the terms and conditions.
This bet is indicative. This bet encompasses all that are the issues of PC ETBs. More hassle than they're worth. Like honestly, that was. Thank you, Java, for providing. Thank you, Java, for providing a demonstration, a live demonstration of exactly what I mean when I say PC ETBs are a pain. Here we go. Alex at the ranch says, should I sell all my Nintendo stock and just buy Pokemon Center stamp ETBs? According to everyone except me, yes. According to me, it's like, well, if you have less than $100 in Nintendo stock, easy. You buy one order for 2 quantity. If you have more than $5,000 in Nintendo stock, good luck, because you're gonna have to place 7,000 orders to 300 different addresses. But yeah, let's
Wonder. I can't spend more than 5 minutes on a $50 bet. However, here's a 30-minute reason to why I will win.
I mean, our time on YouTube right now, me doing an extra live this week, it's kind of ironic and it's kind of funny. So I need to farm the 100 view count that I get, the 130 view count that I get. When that works out to like, I think I made like $25 in ad revenue on my last video. Woo! I was making $8 an hour. So it's like I put down everything on my desk to go live for 3 hours to make $25 when I could have just made a lot more than that, not going live, doing what I was doing. But the big thing about content is compounding. It grows. If I get one new consigner, if I get one new collection buy, that's where it scales. So let's see. What quantity will you be asking for your suppliers for Prismatic Evo? How much do you think you'll get? I think I'll get the same that I got for both Stellar and Surging Sparks. I could be wrong. Maybe it's slightly less than that. But I got 38 cases of both Stellar and Surging Sparks, and I anticipate that's what I'll get. If I'm allowed to ask,
No, it's a specialty set.
Oh, that's right.
It'd be Shrouded in 151.
Well, what? Shrouded 151 and well, I guess Paldean.
Paldean Fates. Well, I guess Paldean Fates was after 151, so yeah.
I don't remember how many I got, but I'll be asking for way more than I can get. I'm sure I'll be allocated. I'm sure they won't even ask me for a number. They'll just tell me what I'm getting. But I will try to get obscene amounts. Like, yeah. Is Pokemon Center blocking orders for anyone else? They have my address. Like, yeah. I highlighted a couple of these comments because they were coming in crazy. I think they're still coming in too. Stonk Watch 2024. Absolutely. So Pokemon DK says, distributor question. Do you have an average number of items like booster boxes, ETBs you always ask for each release? 40 of each, 60 of each. How many do they end up giving you? So it varies. It varies. I've been mostly taking like what they've allocated to me. We've had a couple sets that were like open order. I could have technically requested anything that I wanted. And I've just taken what they've been giving me. So I've been approximately 30 to 40 booster cases of every set at release. I've been approximately 20 to 30 ETB cases of every set at release. So I'm getting 200 to 300 ETBs and about 180 to 240 booster boxes. I liked that a year ago. I kind of liked the number. A lot of the sets I had to sit on, a lot of the sets I couldn't sell out of the gate, but I kind of had a feeling. I didn't know when, because nobody knows when. I had a feeling that someday I would be thankful that I kept my allocations as high as I did, even though they weren't making any money, because right now they're making money. So when everyone calls their distributors this week, this month, and they say, please, 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 I beg of you, give me all, I need to look at the set name again. Give me all of the prismatic evolutions that I can get. They will say, okay, we're going to factor it off your last 6 months, 3 months, 10 months, 12 months spend, whatever they do. And they're going to say, oh, well, you didn't buy any Shrouded. You didn't buy any of this. You didn't buy any of that. Your spend was this % of our total sales for the last quarter. So we're going to allocate you this. My number will be better because I bought like the stuff that didn't do as well the past several months. So I will be happy now. Does it make up for it? Does it always make up for it? Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But like, that's the way that I think about it. That's the way that I navigate it. I buy a manageable amount. I probably could, in hindsight, I obviously should have gotten more of everything because Twilight Masquerade did what it did. Everything is like in hindsight, it's so easy to say what you should have done, but like that's what I actually did, and that's why I do what I do. Appreciate you, Java, for the 5 gifted. I still don't know if that bet is on or not, but
I don't think he answered. I don't think he answered yet. Well, he's nervous with all the terms and conditions. He's reading your contract.
Yeah. What do you think about that, though? What do you have coming? What do you normally order?
I've been doing for the longest time it was 148 or 150 booster boxes, whatever the case quantity is, and then 50 ETBs. And then some of the like the 3-pack blisters too for the promos. So four cases of the 3-pack blisters, 50 ETBs, and then like 150 boxes. That was kind of my standard order for a while, like you were saying. But now that we're getting good with Scarlet and Violet, those numbers have definitely increased. Surging Sparks, I got up to 200 boxes. And the same ETB wise, just because it's a booster box set. But for the EV set, I'm gonna go wild and hopefully get a good bit. But yeah, we'll see what it gets allocated down to for the EV set. But yeah, try and get as much stuff as possible. I like the booster boxes the best because they take up less space. They're the easiest to open. And then ETBs are also good because they get the promo now. Sometimes the promo is really good. Other times the promo is terrible. And then also you get a decent bit of packs in there. and it's not super complicated to break down. Like some of the collection boxes are the absolute worst.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I still have the last couple releases of collection boxes to break down. I broke down those massive ones with the Charizard in them, kind of like the Rayquaza we had a few years back in the Hidden Fates collections. But I think that the new one's a lot less fragile because so many of my Rayquazas were broken in shipment from the distributor. That was frustrating. But appreciate you, Wonder. 80 watching, 29 likes. Please hit that free thumbs up button.
Yeah.
Best value. I mean, best value. Spat says $4.99 super chat. We appreciate you, Spat. By no means is it required that you super chat to be answered, but I will skip you to the front of the line for super chatting. Will you be buying Prismatic Evolutions, and will it be $120 on 11/1/2025? So I've been called a fence sitter many times. One thing that I've been doing though, so on my video on, I forget if it was Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. On my video on Tuesday, I actually said, it's written down somewhere in front of me. I said, I estimate 6 weeks. I said Surging Sparks would be 140, which it's already surpassed. And I think I said 6 months, it'll be 170 or 180. Somewhere, I put it in my calendar. So like when we hit that date, I will actually come out, and I don't know if I'll make a video for it, but I'll at least talk about it in a live stream. So 1 year ago, I hopped off the fence and I made a price prediction. And I said, I think this will be worth 50 sealed and 300 in a PSA 10. I apparently thought it was going to be graded a lot harder than it is. It is fairly hard to grade, like relative to a lot of things, but easier than some. But this is 150 now in sealed, and it's a $300 PSA 10. So I was spot on for the PSA 10 price, and I was low for the sealed price. So I like that's one thing too. Like I am open, honest, transparent. I answer people's questions too. I answer all the questions that I can answer. I can't answer them all. But if you ask me like, hey, what's your price target for this on this date? I would just answer it. Like, I don't care. I try to write it down. I try to follow up on it. But if I start getting asked that so much more, like it'll be harder. But I think Prismatic Evolutions, yes, I will be buying it because I will be allocated it. I will not be buying any of it from the open market at full retail. I might buy it at 80%. But
no
like
Pokemon Center ETBs?
Maybe. So the big stonkers out there, all the people that are buying $60 Pokemon Center ETBs, I will buy them from you at 80%. So when they're in stock on Pokemon Center in a year at $60, and they're auctioning on eBay from all the failed stonkers at $50, I will buy them from you for $40 a piece. You ship first. I will pay PayPal, friends, and family. I will pay Zelle. There will be no 1099 generated. Do with that what you will. But so the only way I will be buying it from the open market would be at 80%. I would not be buying it like from TCG Player. I would not be buying it from Pokemon Center. But yeah, I'm buying a ton of it, whatever I'm allocated. And then from there, I'm buying it 80% if people want to sell it for that.
You didn't answer the question though.
Oh, yes. It will be 120. It will be.
Wait, so I think you were going to say no. That was your whole bet with Java.
I'm going to give you is this, he didn't say PC ETBs here.
Well, I assume that because, like, are you talking regular ETBs then?
Oh yeah, it'd have to be. No,
I thought this whole question was like going along the lines of your bet with Java.
So it's a meme on the bet. It's a meme on the bet. I was thinking booster boxes. I keep forgetting the name of the set. I keep forgetting it's a specialty set. I should pay it respect because this thing is going to retire us all. But I'm clearly disrespecting it. I think no. I think PC ETBs will be. Let me get really cheeky. I think they're going to be in stock on Pokemon Center on 11/1/2025.
There's no shot. There is no shot.
No shot.
An Eevee set with an Eevee promo.
Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars. It has a Charizard in it. Brilliant Stars has a Charizard in it.
No way. You are high if you think
if there's zero chance, give me 1,000 to 1 odds, and I'll bet $10 on it. If anyone gives you 1,000 to 1 odds, you always take that. You always take those odds, whatever the odds were. Remember Kevin from The Office?
Yes.
Anytime anyone gives you, I think it's 10,000 to 1. Anytime anyone gives you 10,000 to 1 odds, you take that bet. You take those odds. There's no promo in Brilliant. Like, okay, this set is guaranteed to be out of stock. This set is guaranteed to be 120. I hope everyone in here is double dipping on the clock, being paid for their time. Like you should be spending your whole day, your whole weekend buying these things. This is free money. Everyone should be doing that. If anyone is doing anything else all weekend long, like what is wrong with you? I don't know what's wrong with you if you're not doing that. I don't have the same conviction. Like that's what, when I say people on YouTube cosplay as Pokemon investors, people will talk up and down about how this set, the next best thing, it's going to go to the moon. It's like, okay, how many do you have? I used to sit at a lunchroom table with people that I worked with. I'd hear for a week about how shitcoin XYZ was going to do this, was going to do that. They bought $50 worth. And it's like, well, I gave the spoiler too soon. After 2 weeks of hearing about this shitcoin, it's like, how much of this did you buy? Oh, I put $50 in last Monday and now it's 80. It's like, you're talking about how this is like the revolution. This is going to change the world and it's going to 10x and you put $50 in it. Like, what are we doing, people? What are we doing? I'm losing my mind. Oh, man. Alex likes it. He knows. Everyone knows there's a lot of people out there that will post these lines. They'll post these charts. They don't own any, or maybe they own one. Oh, five Pokemon investments guaranteed to double your money in 2024. And then it's like, they don't buy any of them. They just farm affiliate links. It's like, it's a wild world out here. It's if I had half the conviction that some of these people claim to have, I would have $100,000 in some of these things they're talking about. And I just don't. I'm not. I guess I'm not that bullish. Someone with multi six figures in Pokemon, someone who does it as his full job and all that. Like my only income source is Pokemon, and I don't have half the conviction that these investors have that have $500 in product under their bed. Just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's the same. That's the same thing everywhere, though. People always talk things up, and they never act on what they talk about.
That's
not Pokemon specific at all.
Talk is very cheap. I want to see, like, I want to watch the Rudy. I want to watch the Rudy with the pallets behind. And I know not everyone has that, but like, I want to see people who are doing what they're saying. And the space is just full of people talking, and you have no idea what they're doing. They're probably doing nothing with it. And I just want to see the walk. I love, like, Alex's channel. I don't know how much he has. I push on Alex and I say, you should do a tour. People ask him in the comments for a tour. I'm like, show what you have. Show your hand. Show what you've got. I think it might be less than he should have, maybe a little bit less than he should have, giving his bullishness. But I know that he has a bunch. I've sold to him. I know that he buys a lot. Eli, PokeNE, Alpha Investments. Like, these are guys that are actually invested in the stuff, that they have this stuff. They're meaningful channels that you can glean some information from. These guys get allocations. These guys buy product. These guys sit on long-term product. The amount of channels that have popped up, and I don't know how many people have done it. Maybe I'm just yelling at the clouds. I've gone down the YouTube rabbit hole. Open a private browser. Don't be logged into YouTube. Type in Pokemon investments. The amount of channels out there, the amount of many thousands of views. People will just say, oh, Dan's jealous of all the views. Like, whatever you want to say. But the amount of people just cosplaying as a Pokemon investor that have no skin in the game, it's scary. It really is scary. Part of the reason that I feel confident, in spite of all the downside risk that I know is possibly there, part of the reason that I feel good about doing what I'm doing is because I know most people are talk. I know most people are not doing this. Most people saying they're going to hold these for 10 years, I'm going to be buying from them at 80% in 2 years, if not 2 months. Like, I'm confident in that. So, and I'm confident in all the ripping. Like, right now, what we have going on, and we don't know who will win. We have a battle of unstoppable force versus immovable object. The immovable object is the mountain of billions and billions of cards being printed, and the unstoppable force is like live stream ripping. I think the unstoppable force will win. I am betting on live streaming beating the unprecedented print runs and investing demand.
Then why aren't you pack ripping on live streams? Ooh.
I have two guys that I'm trying to have do that. I don't like pack ripping. I don't like pack ripping like that.
Throwing it back onto you over there.
I have two people on paying to do it.
Talk is cheap. Somebody's not pack ripping.
I have two people on paying to do it, and I've talked to at least 3 more people that are like jonesing to do it, that want to start doing it in early 2025, if not sooner. So like, and part of it is like, if I'm gonna feed a pack ripper, I've got to let go of these investments that are going to 10x me and make me a multi-deca billionaire. So it's like, do I really want to rip the packs when they're all guaranteed to go up? Like, why would I rip them? If I was a true investor, I'd just hold them all.
I don't know.
That's a funny one. Oh God. Oh, we need you now more than ever. Random person. I enjoy driving. It's relaxing. Dan, how many cars do you have? One. Must not enjoy it as much as you say. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh man. He's talking at 2x just normally. Oh, it's all this Halloween candy and Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And Alex, I'm actually I'm trying to put you up. It's all context, right? You have more than 99% of PokeTubers, I would say. I don't know exactly what you have, but I would wager that you have more than 99% of people selling Pokemon as a good investment on YouTube. You're putting your money where your mouth is. But like, and you know, I push back some on how much of the S&P 500 do you have. That's the big thing that kills me. My video on Monday will show a little bit, talk a little bit about my thoughts on the. We'll save that for then. But no, I genuinely am afraid by how many channels have popped up. It's kind of like the boom was. Kind of like the boom was the amount of people that popped up saying all this stuff is good investments by people who don't have $100 in product, probably. By people like it's scary. And I personally, like, I am not trying to say I'm some bigwig doing this at a high level. Like the Rudy is miles above me. PokeNE, Eli, Pokemart. Alex, I want to say we're like in a similar vicinity-ish. I think you had said, I think you have as much Surging Sparks as I do. I think I have 38 cases. I think you said on a live stream you had 35. So like we're in a ballpark. We're doing business in a different way. You're doing it in a much more scalable content sideways. Like you're crushing it with that. But by no means am I trying to downplay what you're doing. I think it's a lot. It's good and it's needed. It's needed to have people talking up this stuff that actually are invested in it. I don't want to hear from people who don't have any of it. I want to hear from people who have it. That's my biggest thing. Like there are so many people. There are so many people at the lunch table talking about this, talking about that. And it's like you're making $1,000 a week paycheck. All you do all day is and I'm literally talking to one of my old coworkers. I'm not talking to anyone in chat. You're making $1,000 a week paycheck. All you do is play mobile games on your phone all day and go around in different, probably Discord wasn't as big of a thing at the time, but like all they did all day was invest in shit coins and Robinhood and GameStop and like all these different things. It's like, what are you even getting paid for? If you just put in effort at work, you'd be further ahead 5 years down the line because you'd actually like climb the ladder. You'd make more money and you're trying to like make all this money, putting $50 into this, $100 into that, and just going nowhere with it. Like that's the person that I'm trying to talk to that's not here listening.
No, that person is not here listening. That person is not here. You're in the wrong stream for that.
Let's see. I have more starts. Let's get through those.
Let's skip some Pokemon Center ETB questions.
Yeah.
let's move on from that topic.
I'm only down to a couple more starts, so we're mostly caught up, I think. So Basic says I have 100-ish slabs that were graded, intended to be flipped a year ago. Due to procrastination, I never sold, and now they doubled in price. Do I sell now, wait for my local show in December, or continue to diamond hands? Do you still have, I think Basic still has that base set box that he had that was $30,000 at one point, and he diamond handed that all the way down to $14,000. So I have a feeling you won't.
Well, hey, those things are back on the up and up.
Yeah, opportunity cost. He could have sold all that for $30,000, put it in Evolving Skies at $90, and then he could have 10x his money again. Like, what are we talking about?
True. That is true.
It was all obvious. Why didn't he do that? I would say sell. If you have no connection to the slabs, I would consign them all. If you want to go eBay, I would consign them all with Mr. James from Z&G Emporium. If you want to go with Fanatics, I would consign them all with Mr. Dan from KetchumAllCollectibles. They offer the market's best rates, best services for those two respective platforms. So that is what I would do. That's just my thoughts. What would you do if you had 100 slabs that doubled year over year that you don't give a crap about, that you forgot about nearly?
I would, yeah, I would get him listed on eBay. I would definitely get him listed on eBay now. I wouldn't necessarily wait until December.
Yeah, to me, it's like,
especially with James and Dan's rates. It just doesn't make sense. You're basically going to be getting the same. You're going to be making a little bit less to not have to sell them yourself at a show, stand around all day.
And the thing is, like, it could always go up, right? The thing that kept people from selling, like, it could always go higher. You never know. But, like, big thing I ask myself too is, like, what are you going to do with that money? Is that money going to sit and do nothing? Like, who cares? Opportunity cost, though. If you have, and this isn't just the basic, as always, I start with a question and then I go broad. Some people are out here talking about investing in these things literally on 30% credit cards. People are doing this with 15% car loans that they haven't paid off yet. People are doing that. Like, what is your opportunity cost? Where else could you be putting this money? That's the biggest thing that I always come back to. The biggest thing, risk and opportunity cost. And a lot of people just ignore opportunity cost altogether, which is insane. Like, that is the number one consideration for an investor. And I get it. Pokemon checks two boxes. Someone recently, actually it was Alex. Everything is just fun. You know that. It's fun. It's entertainment. S&P 500 boring. All that stuff. I get it. I get it all. But, like, be honest with yourself what you're actually doing. If you're having fun, that's fine. I think people will do, like, they'll lie to themselves and say they're doing it for an investment. So a lot of people, on the guise of investing, they will overspend in their collecting. They will overspend in their gambling pursuits under the guise of investing. And I think that's just a scary thought. A lot of people that invest for the future, they buy 4 Pokemon Center ETBs and they have a couple too many Coca-Colas or they have a couple too many IPAs on a Friday night and they rip them all. So they justify the purchase on the guise of investing and then they just consume them and it turns into nothing. Like, be honest with yourself what you're actually doing here. I am investing. I am running a business. I am extracting money from the hobby. And I'm doing things day by day that bring me towards those goals. Be honest with yourself. What percent investing is it? What percent collecting is it? Set yourself a budget. Set yourself an investment, whatever. Like, I hope that makes sense. But, like, be honest with yourself what you're doing and then do things that bring you towards whatever your goals are. If your goals are happiness, YOLO, hanging out, having fun, that's perfectly fine. Just don't, like, kid yourself and overextend based on this being an investment. Because for most people, just like in the stock market, the amount of studies that are out there, say the stock market goes up 20% in a given year. Most statistics are made up. Something like 90% of retail investors underperform the benchmark over any fixed 6-month, 6-year, 10-year portfolio time frame because they're in and out, because they're doing suboptimal things. So, like, the same thing happens here. When a box 10Xs, very few people see that 10X. Some amount of people open up their stuff in between. Some amount of people bought way later. Some amount of people bought way later, sold it when it dipped 20%, rebought it when it went up 50% again. Like, all the same things happen here. The amount of studies out there on like traditional markets, on people's average return relative to the benchmark, relative to the investments that they're in, it's crazy. It's actually crazy how much people underperform due to their emotions.
But how many people are seriously invested in Pokemon to the point where like keep track of all this? Or it's got to be mainly casual people who buy something, it doubles, they sell it, they're thrilled, they buy another thing, it cuts in half, they're depressed. But do they really care, or is it just that they're having fun at the end of the day? That's going to be the vast majority of people. It's such a small subset of people that are actually investing in Pokemon.
Yeah, when you get a video, and Alex, I don't know if he's still here, but he was here. Let's use Alex as a guinea pig. 500 people in Alex's stream. If I had to wager a guess, complete guess, I would say less than 10% of them are getting more than 2 Surging Sparks cases. Mm-hmm. It's a complete guess, but, like, I feel fairly confident in that guess. And it's perfectly fine. Like, I play old school RuneScape. I've not played in several months. I'm kind of getting the itch. Leagues is coming soon. I'm excited to get back on it. But like I play a 25-year-old game. There are YouTube channels that monitor the economy within RuneScape. Like this item went up 50%. This item went down 50%. All the same market conversations we have in Pokemon. There are people that have that with respect to like a 25-year-old point-and-click medieval simulator game.
What a bunch
like,
of nerds.
It's clearly like no one's trying to actually get. And the funny thing is, you can actually buy gold in the game. If I go on right now on RuneScape, if I play for 5 hours and I do well, I might make like 25 million GP in the game. I can click 3 buttons and I can buy 25 million GP for like $15, I think. So if you figure like my hourly rate of playing the game, but my sole goal is not making money, right? If I were to actually buy gold in the game, it would take away my enjoyment of the game. My enjoyment is the journey, is the process. So like, and I know every time I say this stuff, it's going to be taken the wrong way by some amount of people, and I'm not intending for that. But if we're truly talking like we're investing, if we're truly talking like our sole goal is making money, then these are the considerations that need to be had. The fact is, for most people, it might be 1% investing. It might be 1% retaining value and 90%. Who the hell cares? I'm having fun. I'm here for the ride because I'm having fun. And that's perfectly fine. Like, I'm not trying to downplay that. Almost 100 concurrent top signal. Yeah, we're more than double. We're more than double our average viewership here, as I have been on my channel. So 151, that set is vintage. That is a throwback.
That is vintage.
That set is vintage. That is such a throwback. I almost forgot that set. I mean, we're on Surging, we're on Prismatic, we're like 6 sets down the line. Team Rocket.
I don't know. People haven't forgotten about 151 yet. That is
It sounds like Dan bought 48K worth of felt hats to not get called out when he said he liked. It's okay to like something and not own it. I'm an evil capitalist monster. My goal is to take money out of the hobby. I bought this to make money. I do like the card, but like I like the money that the card brings me more than I like the card. Like if I had to collect this as a true collector, I would not buy this card for 150 to sit on my shelf forever. The one that I have up there that I won from Brad, get wrecked, Brad. get wrecked, Brad. Let me go full screen. I told him for forever. He's gonna just get random. It's right here in front of my creepy Utica Club guy. So I won that when it was valued at 100. I had him sign it. I'm gonna keep that forever. That thing is forever PC. So that one I value at $1,000 or more. But like these ones, I bought these ones with intent to resell to make money. I figured there'd be a good prospect at doing that. There was just like the PCETB. I look at it the same way. I could lose money. I could lose money on this play. I knew what I was getting into. The amount of times that I hear the G word, that I hear the guarantee word, the amount of time that I hear people not at all consider downside being a possibility, that just scares me. I saw way too much of it in 2020, 2021, and I spoke against it. I didn't have my own channel yet in 2020. I went on John's channel, Pokemon Radar, the guy that I bought these with. I went on Jake's channel, Pokenomics, the guy that I'm partnered with on the Patreon. I tell you what my feelings and thoughts are, and I tell you what I'm doing, and then take from that what you will. And yeah, that's what the whole channel, that's what the whole podcast is.
Are you gonna set any of yours back? So I don't know. I might be crazy here, but I'm actually thinking about. I have a bunch of mine. Yeah, I have a bunch of mine. The sealed ones set back, but I'm also thinking about setting a portion of my PSA 10s. I don't know. I'm tempted. I'm not so confident in fire sailing those. I'm going to sell most of them, but I'm thinking of setting back like 10, 15 of the 10s. Just because that it is such a good card. That is one of my favorite cards of all time. Shining Gyarados is still number 1, but that Pikachu is so good.
The conversation I had with John is that we talked about basically just like selling till we got all our money back and then retaining all the sealed copies and just keeping those as profit. But then the next logical step would be, Why stop selling them? Keep them permanently for sale. Hit up the guy with the cases. Roll into case 2 once we get enough sales done. Like now the issue is we paid just under $50K for that case. I have not talked to the guy, but I saw the guy selling the individual sealed boxes behind me. He was selling those at a rate of $150, which works out to $3,750. Maybe he discounted a little bit, but if we had to pay, that'd be, instead of 50 grand, it'd be 60 grand. It'd be 20% higher if we want to buy the next case. But if we print crazy off these, if we get 60K worth of sales out of these, I might YOLO it into the next case with John if he wants to. Like, instead of setting any back, it's like, why set them back when they're actively making me money, processing them, churning them, flipping them? Like, I would rather go that route personally. Because I have one there. Maybe I'll set aside a couple
damaged.
copies.
It's not signed. It's ruined.
I'm gonna be buried, or I'm gonna be buried with that one. Or I'm gonna be.
God, you're one of those people.
I'm genuinely not whatsoever, but like my childhood binder, and then I don't even have a binder going yet. At some point, I'll have to start a binder of like my childhood binder, and then a binder of like the cards that have meaning to me, remembering destroying Brad in 1-on-1, remembering being at that event, pulling the string cheese guy in Houston. I have that somewhere. Remembering getting the card signed by whoever, like those ones I care about. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, do I want to set back? Like, how many are you going to set back? You're going to set back like 5 or 10 or whatever? Like,
yeah, I was thinking like 10, 15 of the 10s. So not a ton, but it's like I have, what do I have? I think I have 30 10s right now. Well, 29 because I sold one. So it'd be like half of what I have now. I do have more at PSA, so hopefully those will come back 10s and I'll have more. But if I only have these 30, I think I might set like 10 back and just see what happens.
But like, if the margin's still there, why not just sell them, replace with sealed, grade them again, and why not just keep iterating? Like one of the plays that I always talk about, the public domain play, Celebrations Charizard. That thing has not had a margin in the past 3 years. It's always been there. I've talked about it a million times. A ton of other people have too. I've graded hundreds of PSA 10s. There's probably people that have graded 1,000 PSA 10s themselves. Some big businesses, whatever. Maybe not. But anyways, it's like, if the margin's there, why would you not just keep iterating on the flip, on the churn, right?
Because it's a lot more risky now. When I was buying them, they were $60 a piece. Obviously, 10s were a lot less. Now you're spending $150 a piece. It's a lot. I was able to get almost 3 copies to your 1 copy. Should have bought a whole lot more, but it's just, there's just a lot more risk to it. And then at this point, everyone knows PSA 10s are so expensive. It's a clear plastic wrapper. Unless you have a really good, legitimate source who's not going to scam you, the only time you have that guarantee is when you buy a sealed
box. Yeah,
those 25 count white boxes. There's no guarantee. There is nothing keeping that sealed.
So Nick, when I call you, when John and I are almost done with our first round play, and I call you in a month,
I don't think so.
And I say, hey Nick, do you remember way back in the olden times at Chicago Collecticon when I was trying to get you to split a case with me? Do you remember how you didn't, and how John and I just made like 10K, 15K each? It's like, Nick, now is the time. You've got my wire details. Send me the money. I'll split. I would split with you blind. I'll split with you blind. We can ship it to you, and I'll trust you to ship me unsearched one. Like you just open up the case, you pick 8 of the 16 boxes at random. That'll be a fun call we have in a month or two. We'll see where you're at. But like, I would lean more towards there than trying to sit on the graded cards. Like because like opportunity cost, the prospects of sitting on those 5 gray felt hats, like money is fungible. If your soul, there's 2 things. I think this is like a good way to envelop so much of what our conversation has been today. So you would sit on 5 PSA 10s with the intent of making money. You would get the additional benefit of maybe you'd have them. Would you have them all on display somewhere, or maybe you'd have one on display somewhere? So you would get like you would get like the benefit of my thing would be like keep one instead of 5, and then instead of putting $1,200 into 4 gray felt hats, I would buy 2 cases of the next set, ultra modern sealed, because I truly think like that's one of the best out of all other things in the hobby. I think 80, not 80. Now it's more like like I truly think $600 cases of the newest sets are one of the best things moving ahead. So yeah, like that's my thought at least on opportunity cost. Like it's like if keep one because you like it, keep one so you can enjoy it, experience it, whatever. You see it every day. But if the sole goal with the other 4 is to make money and they're sitting in a deep dark closet somewhere, I think there's better things.
I don't know. I don't know either,
but I think like
it's tough for me because of how I really like this card. I don't know. It's right up there in my top 2 cards.
Kai.
It's a hat.
See, for me, it's like it's nowhere. I think you're insane.
It's a gray hat, and it's felty.
It's felt. But for you to say that it's up there with like Shining Gyarados, I have a Shining Gyarados right there. I love that card. Yeah. It like Crystal. It takes me back to the best video game. It takes me back to Pokemon Crystal. There's layers there. Like I'm not a big art guy. I wouldn't have even known gray felt hat. Like I was aware of the picture. I've seen it somewhere in my life. I wouldn't have even known that was Van Gogh.
No,
I don't think so. Like obviously I know now, but it isn't Moonbreon. Or not Moonbreon. Starry Night Moonbreon, which we should have gotten. The Starry Night Moonbreon we never got, at least yet. Isn't Starry Night Van Gogh?
Yeah.
And then Scream is Monk. Which
Yeah.
I don't think I knew. Did I know the Scream?
I didn't know the Screams. I knew Van Gogh though.
I would have known Starry Night. Is the Mona Lisa Da Vinci?
Yes.
I feel like that's the extent of. Yes, Leonardo da Vinci. Not Leonardo, but not the Ninja Turtle. The other one.
Not the Ninja Turtle.
Like that's genuinely like I'm not an art guy really, but so I do really like the Shining Gyarados art, but what I like about it more is that nostalgia, that connection, like going to the Lake of Rage, catching that Shining Gyarados. Like that's what it is for me. So
see, I like Shining Gyarados because of the artwork.
Uncultured swine. I was waiting for one of those comments. I am 100% uncultured.
Game, so I don't have the connection like the whole Lake of Rage or whatever, all that stuff. For me, it's simply because of how cool the card looks, and the Pikachu is the exact same way for me.
See, and for me, like I think there are in the last year of main set modern releases, I think there are 50, at least 50, if not 100 cards that surpass this in art alone.
Really?
If you look at the Galarian Gallery, if you look at all these IRs and SARs, artists will art. I think art is one of the most overrated things to judge cards on, because to me, and maybe it's because I'm an uncultured swine, which I admittedly am, but like, yeah, I think so much of this art is so beautiful that investing in something due to its good art is like a bad way to go about it. Like, and I'm not saying it's nothing. I'm not saying it's of no consideration, but like, I do like the Shining Gyarados because it's really good art, but it's also really good history. It's the first Shining. It's that, like, I think it checks a lot of other boxes. The biggest box for me though is the nostalgia. That's the biggest single box, because I don't have that as an investment. My goal with that card is to bring myself joy. Supplemental is the fact that I think it will appreciate over time. So I'm 40% investing in that card, and I'm 60% consuming that card because I enjoy it. That's where I'm at with that card.
Mm-hmm.
Gray felt 1K a piece. When? James, hopefully they're 1K a piece right before I send half of them to you and half of them to Fanatics. So hopefully that's when it happens.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I like the gray felt hat. I think it's it's, and that's a thing to me too. Like this is gonna be blasphemous. If you think I'm an uncultured swine now, like the Mona Lisa, yawn. I don't care. Like, like the gray felt hat, the original Van Gogh.
Oh, terrible.
I don't care.
Okay, yeah.
I don't don't care at
But
all.
the Pikachu in that card is adorable. It's so cute. I love it. I love it. But yeah, no, the original painting, who cares? Art in general, I'm not a big fan of.
Galarian Gallery. I'm thinking of like the legendary beasts. I'm thinking of Suicune, Entei Raikou.
But that's so old now.
Oh, I know that's like vintage. That's super vintage.
I will say, speaking of art, completely off topic. Did you see Charlie's Instagram story with that? It was that painting, but it looked like it was on the. It looked like it was like craft paper stapled together on the bulletin board.
Yeah,
that was wild. That was actually really, really cool.
I saw it, but I didn't look at it in depth. Like I couldn't tell you. I vaguely remember it, but like I
had to scroll back a few times to look at those multiple times because like the staples look like actual staples. There was like a string connecting a tent that looked like a legitimate string. It was insane.
Like I legitimately, so every year my kids are both in school now. We will go. I will go to an art show every year. I could walk through the Louvre. I could walk through. That's the only art museum that I can think of. I can't name any others. I could walk through the finest art galleries in the world. I could look at $50 paintings that came from the senior class at my local high school, and I could like. I would not be able to tell you. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like some of it is like some of the stuff I see at the school. Some of it I see done by like 6th graders. It's like, wow, these kids are talented. And every time these art competitions come out, it's like, wow, a lot of this is really cool and nice. But I just, the way that I classify things, it's like, I like it. I don't like it. So I literally put in, I would put the Mona Lisa in. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I would literally classify multi-$100 million paintings as I don't like it. These are my 2 buckets of classification. I don't have the eye to discern S tier, A tier. If we're talking about candy, and I was going to shout out the Box Nostalgia, the Box Nostalgia podcast. I brought some Halloween candy with me. If I were to classify Kit Kats to M&Ms to Butterfingers to Reese's to Twix to 100 grand, I can have an hour-long conversation with you, and I can classify with the granularity of like 1 through 10 or like S through Y tier. But if we're talking about art, I don't have the eye for that. I genuinely can't do it. It's like, I like that. I don't like that as the full extent. Maybe a 3rd tier in the middle. Like, I'm not sure. Depends on the day. But that's just genuinely that. I guess that's like my beer is the same way. I like IPA. I don't like light beer. There's maybe like a slight upper tier with certain IPAs I do like better, but I don't have the palate for art. I don't have the palate to discern. And a lot of people who claim to look into the history, look into the studies done on like sommeliers. I did not think any of my rants today would go to like wine tasting sommeliers. the absolute bullshittery that is the upper echelons of like wine tasting and this and that. It's all just made up bullshit. Honestly, I think a lot of art is too. A lot of the high end art. What is the difference between 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure paintings and history and stuff? A lot of it's just made up bullshit, mostly, like, to be honest. And maybe that will be the most blasphemous thing anyone's ever uttered. But I fully believe in that. I think a lot of it is just once prices are like established, once someone becomes like in, their stuff is just in no matter what they do. They could literally just have their child throw paint on a canvas and then it's worth $1 million, even though they didn't do it. Like that's what I see in a lot of art, to be honest. Like I think what they do on these 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch rectangles that we love, like this pleases me so much more because of the subject matter, because of the characters on it, right?
Oh,
like
100%.
Yeah. So like that's the broader context of all that. But yeah, interesting rant, I guess. Probably lost a lot of people with that. But Oh, wine is terrible. Wine is so bad. I don't even like grape juice, and wine is just really, really bad. Old spoiled grape juice is the way that I see it. Box Nostalgia put candy corn in Y tier. Yeah.
Don't
I'm
say
not a,
you agree with them.
I would put
Candy
it like
corn is the greatest part of Halloween.
let's
It's
do
like
it.
eggnog around Christmas. I look
Since it was
forward to candy
Halloween,
corn every single year.
since it was Halloween yesterday, let's devote ourselves to about a 2-minute tier. So pick like 3 S tiers, pick like 3 C tiers, and 3 Y tiers, something like that.
Of what? Candy?
Just all of candy. Some of the candies they did, whatever other ones you want to do.
Like if we're talking, it has to be Halloween. It's different in like July. But if we're talking Halloween with the whole time frame and it coming once a year, candy corn is definitely something that I look forward to. So that would have to be that. Maybe I'll give it an A tier because I don't know if it's quite S tier, but it would definitely be an A tier.
What is it in July though? For context, what is it in July?
In July, it's good. I like it. I would drop it down to like a B, like a B minus, I would say.
So you're saying it's B minus tier, but one day you want to have it. Both those can be true. It can be B minus tier, but you really want it one day.
Yes, I wouldn't be able to eat it all year long. It's the exact same thing as eggnog. I love getting like a bottle of eggnog, but I'll only have that one bottle. That's it for the entire year. Eggnog does not sound good in the summer.
So what are like 3 S tiers?
So S tier for me, I hate to be, Josh is gonna hate me because I'm a basic bitch apparently, but Reese's peanut butter cups, the greatest candy in existence.
You're gonna get lit up for saying Reese's. It's not Reese's Pieces. It's Reese's Pieces.
No, it's
Reese. Reese is the guy, and they're his.
Use that peanut butter cups. Peanut butter cups. Take 5. And then specifically the watermelon shaped Sour Patch Kids.
Ooh, I like that. I like the nuance. I like drilling into like one subset of it.
Yes.
So yes. I would say S tier. I think like I'm not a huge sweet tooth, to be honest. I say that as I drink a Coke. I say that with Halloween candy in front of me.
You got a desk full of candy.
I'm more of a sweet, savory guy. I wanted to shout out Box Nostalgia. It was Halloween yesterday, so I had to. S tier, I would say like Twix, Snickers, probably peanut M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms do the right ratio, I think. Certain things have too much chocolate. Like Hershey's with almonds, if they had triple the almonds, would be better than peanut M&Ms. But because I like almonds better than peanuts, but peanut M&Ms just get the ratio of chocolate to not chocolate right. And I think like Twix with the nougat, whatever, with the wafer and the caramel. I can't do straight chocolate bars. I can't just eat a Hershey's. I can't just eat stuff like that. And then candy corn I would put as like a C tier. I think I had the first candy corn piece I've had in 5 years yesterday. It was Halloween. I listened to, I haven't finished Box Nostalgia yet, but I listened to part of it and I knew the meme, all the fighting between the candy corn. I'm like, let me try one. It's like, okay, I can go 5 years without trying that again. So it's like, I would say C or D tier. It's not bad, but it's not good. Like I would not reach for that over almost anything else. Twizzlers are solid. I would put Twizzlers as like an A tier. Like D tier, Y tier, the things that I just don't eat whatsoever. Three Musketeers. I don't like those at all. See, I don't have a good palate or a good like database of black licorice.
Ew,
black licorice. I don't.
Disgusting.
People love them or hate them. I think I hate them. I can't do them at all. But no, Three Musketeers I don't like at all. I remember
like that. It wouldn't be my go-to, but I would say a solid. I would say a solid like. I would put those right with candy corn. My B plus.
Like with me, I don't eat candy a ton, but when I do, I go straight for an A or an S tier. Like I will choose eating nothing over eating a C tier candy. Like if there's a whole bowl of candy corn and I'll just not eat anything. I'll just skip it. If there's a whole bowl of like Heath bars, Milky Ways, I think those things are fine. I can't remember like Heath bars, Milky Ways, Almond Joys, 100 other things that I just like. If it's not S or A tier, I can't even classify it because I don't know, because I don't eat it. I will eat Kit Kats, Reese's, Butterfinger, Twix, Snickers. I will eat 100 grand. Those are all A and S tier. But like anything else, I just don't bother with.
I agree with you, except Butterfinger. Those are no good. Those are
Butterfinger's like the worst of all those that I mentioned. It's barely scraping up there. Butterfinger's interesting enough. Like it's different and interesting enough that I occasionally will want a Butterfinger. So I go for them on occasion.
I don't think I've ever craved a Butterfinger. I don't think so. And then the other one we need to talk about, while we've already got Josh hating us, what are your thoughts on how do you even say it? Habaro, gummy bears?
Oh, Haribo? I think it's Haribo.
Yeah.
I like them. I got to the part in the podcast where they were talking about like, I think it was the paper hands one or cardboard hands one, right?
It's Bierski and Ponga who did like the official tier list, but then Josh and Retro are like the inspiration of that tier list.
Yeah, so I didn't hear the whole Box Nostalgia tier list yet, but I did hear the inspiration with Cardboard Hands where they were talking about Haribo. Josh went off on gummies. Like he is into gummy candies way more than I am. The way that he classified, like these ones are so much chewier, and like my kids love fruit snacks. We have a lot of the like, they're not healthy by any means, but they're healthier, more like actual real fruit to some extent. I've tried all the different gummy candies my kids have. Haribo are good, but I don't like the texture as much. I like the textures where you chew through them more, easier, better. But the flavor is really good. So I would give Haribo A tier flavor, like B tier overall, because I would rather just not have to chew as thoroughly, I guess. I don't know. But what Mr. Walrus says here, like if you give me at the end of the night, if you give me a plate of Reese's, 100 grand, Kit Kat, peanut M&Ms, Twix, if you give all my A and S tier stuff, and then on another plate, you have brisket burnt ends, you have pork belly burnt ends, you have a slice of bacon, you have chicken wings, you have boneless wings, I will go to the salty, savory, fatty every time over the sweet, like every single time.
Really? I can't do that.
An S tier candy is like a low A tier food. An S tier meat is like when we did the S tier meat list, that's one thing. Like when you rate pizza, when you rate like a B tier pizza in absolute terms of overall food, that's like an A tier food because pizza is an S tier food. So in the context of pizza, it's a B, but overall it's A. So when I say like Reese's is S tier or Twix is S tier, that makes it like an A tier food. Like a B tier meat would be better than some S tier candies probably, because I'm not a sweet tooth. So keep that context for sure. Like an S tier chicken wing, an S tier meat is better than all else, like by far. It's better than like if there was one candy to rule them all at the top, new tier above S tier, it would not be better than like most A tier meats, at least for me, for my palate. That's the way that I know that's highly opinion. My wife, on the other hand, she's a sweet tooth. She likes a good filet. She likes a good prime rib. She likes salty like meats, things like that. But she's a sweet tooth. She would say like a B tier sweet, like a B tier ice cream would probably beat for her almost any like any S tier meat. So it's all opinion. But yeah, like the nuance, the conversations I can have around meats, around chocolate, around things like that, I can't do that with art. I don't have the eye for it. I don't have the palate for it, to be honest. Like I don't have that level. And honestly, PSA, CGC, BGS, they can't discern to the level that they tell us they can. They cannot discern our cards that well. Clearly, I'm gonna rope all this past 15 minutes back. I'm gonna reel it in, gather it together. What I'm saying I can't do with art, grading companies can't do with cards. Like that is why the inconsistency is so high. If I were to rapid fire through all of Surging Sparks, I could tell you like A tier, S tier, B tier, C tier, A tier, S tier. I would be making it up as I went. And if I replicated that, if I had to do that a week later a day later, an hour later,
Oh yeah, it'd be completely different.
they would change a ton because I'm just bullshitting. I'm making it up. I don't have that level of what did Pokemon Flying Master call it? I don't have that crap.
I forget. I know it exactly what video he would the BGS example.
His resolution. I don't have the resolving power. So
Yeah.
I do not have the resolving power to discern art amongst 5 different tiers. PSA, CGC, BGS, they do not have the resolving power to discern a card amongst 10 buckets. That's why cracking and regrading exists. Like that's why. So like if it were, however, like if you would ask me across the 100 different days across the year, if you asked me to do a taste test and like I wouldn't be perfect with it still. I would blind taste test a Twix and maybe one day I'd put it in an A tier and I'd call it the wrong candy or whatever. But like way more consistently, I would discern those things. What I wanted to do, I wanted to just put a bow on this conversation by saying the same problem I would have tiering off like qualities of art. PSA, CGC, BGS, they don't have the resolving power to do with cards what they do every day. That's why there's the variability. That's why there's the variance in it.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense, or does that make?
I don't know. I could fight back against that, but I do have to go get my rental suit. I would say yes to BGS and CDC. I think PSA is pretty good about being consistent. Yes, they make mistakes, but their variance between grades is big enough where they don't make as many mistakes.
Their top end bucket is the biggest. 50% of Pokemon cards graded get PSA 10s. So inherently, they have less divisors. So they're more consistent because they just have less places to put them. CGC and Beckett fragment that top bucket into multiple, and then they inherently are going to be less reproducible. I can't believe it's already 4:20. This flew by today. What time do you have till? Do you have like 10 more minutes, or do you got to go like?
I don't know what time. Let me check. I don't think they close till like 5.
Okay.
I think we should be good.
Walrus said during the holidays, what relative are you roping into a pallet next, Dan? So I will cover it. I will cover it Monday, but my dad and I are already partway through pallet 2. So I did pallet 1 all at once. That's a poor way to do it. Because just the way the market works, there are certain singularity of like opportunities where you can get things at a better price, and then that goes away. Like if you have 50 grand to spend in a year, ideally you don't do it all at once. Ideally you spread it across 4 grand a month or similar, because like you never know when an opportunity might pop up. So with pallet 2, that's what I've been doing. We are up. What we are up on pallet 1 is nuts. What we're up on pallet 2 is even crazier. But I'm not trying to build another pallet for anyone else. Me and my dad are going to be doing 1 to 2 pallets a year for the next 6 years minimum till 2030. So I just wanted to highlight that one because that one was funny. So earlier, Pokemon Pocket. Let's have this discussion. I am not a fan.
What?
I downloaded it. I'm going to do my daily chore. I'm going to open the app.
I'm going to do my daily chore.
I see Pokemon TCG Pocket as a chore that I have to do. I don't want to miss out. Everyone's doing it. I'm going to give it a week, and I'm going to see if my opinion changes. Maybe I start enjoying it. But, like, to me, it's like, every 12 hours I have to go in. I have to open a pack. Let's see what I get. I've got my Charmander. I've gotten some good ones. I got a Lapras. I got some good full art ones. Alt arts, whatever you want to call them. Art rares, SIRs. But it doesn't do it for me. It's just like clunky, slow, feels like a chore. And are you playing the actual game or just opening packs?
I am. I've done the basic tutorial of the actual game. I need to do the advanced tutorial now.
That was miserable.
No,
I will say.
Well, the basic tutorial, yes, was kind of stupid because it was
that was pain.
Super basic.
The fact that you couldn't go quicker
gets into like what trainers do, and I have no idea what trainers do.
I guess I need to do that.
Interesting. I'm actually going to do that and learn how to play the actual game through Pokemon Pocket.
The first one was pain though, because it was like I know how to do this, and you're slowing me down doing this. Like let me just do this. Let me check the box. Give me my Stardust. Like I don't even know what the thing. Like you got the hourglass thing. you got the shiny thing, you got the money, the gold. It just feels like the free to play experience in Pokemon Go, and shout out Panga, formerly Pokemon Duel, I think was significantly better than the free to play experience will be in this game. So what I'm saying is I think this game is significantly more pay to win, but like I don't really want to play a dumbed down version of the game. I want to learn the actual game itself and play that with my kids and stuff sometime. To me, I just, it's not for me. I don't know. It's not for me. Maybe that changes. Maybe I change my mind. But as of right now, I'm just not feeling it. I'm making myself do it as a chore for a week in case in case I start liking it. But as of right now, it's a 10-minute chore every day. And I don't look forward.
I'm so surprised there's people in here that don't like it. I think it is a massively successful game. And I did not think I was going to like it. Because collecting digital cards, I'm not into the digital thing. But I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park. I really enjoy it. And I do think there's opportunity to play it decently. Like play it for like a decent amount of time and not have to spend any money. Because you get so many of those little hourglass things. Like you need 12 of those, whatever those things are called, to open a pack without waiting 12 hours. And there's a decent opportunity to get more of those hourglasses. So you're not having to pay. Obviously, if you want to open a ton of packs, yes, you have to pay. I don't know. I think it's a really cool concept. And then the whole idea of, I forget what they call it, but you can have like, when you get duplicates of some of your like common and uncommon cards, you can like combine those into another artwork. That is such a cool idea. That is so good. And then having like the custom frames that you can put your cards inside. It is so good. They literally thought of everything.
To me, I like the real cards. I see so much of the real cards. Like I don't need them digital. Not Panga. Walrus wants us to go live at 5:30 and you to don your suit. I don't think we'll be going live again at 5:30. But the way that I see it is like I used to actually really like the game Fortnite. Like I don't play video games a ton, but I can get sucked into them if I start playing them. I think there are tons of games out there I would love. I just don't allocate the time to doing them. I can't say that I don't have the time because I watch TV some, I watch football. I could make the time to do it. I just don't. Like when I play something, I want to play something with more progression. I want to play, and one game that I think is a beautiful game, one game that one of our followers, one of our most vocal, often jumping, often yawning, Ernie, chess. I love the game of chess. It's like, I just know, like, what's the point? I could play this for the rest of my life and I will never be anywhere near the higher end of people. And like, I just don't care to like get better at it. I know I could get better, but even if I poured a ton of time, I wouldn't get good enough to satisfy me. Whereas with something like Pokemon Pocket, it's like, why spend time learning, maybe getting better at this version of it when there exists like a better version? It's like, why am I going to get better at flag football when real football exists? I don't know. I guess with that one, there's like actual reasons, injury, and I'm old and I shouldn't be getting tackled. And like, there are actually like flag football adult leagues that do make sense. So I'm not trying to like yuck on flag football, but yeah, to me, it's like, I would rather try to get better at the actual game. But even that I don't want to do because the amount of time sink that could be. The only way that I'll ever get deep into the TCG itself is if my kids do. If my kids get into it, then it will be a family thing. Then I can justify doing it more, and I will try to do more with it. And maybe someday I'll be sitting final table, me and my son, me and my daughter across the table from each other playing for number one in the world. Who knows? But yeah, TCG Pocket, it's just like, it doesn't do anything for me unique and novel. It's a 10-minute daily chore. Same thing I said earlier with RuneScape. And I see guy streams RuneScape for 8 hours, but doesn't have time for a video game. I've not streamed RuneScape since like March, and I'm feeling it. I'm hurt. It's been like 8 months. And I want to play it, but like I shouldn't and I can't. But what I said earlier, So it's like if I were going to play it, I would have to spend money on it. It's like
Why?
because like in RuneScape, the goal for me is like the journey. The goal, I don't want to spend money to buy GP, to buy gear, because the goal is the journey. If I distilled down like all the time that I play it, if I distilled it down, and I enjoy most of the process. There are certain chores in RuneScape that you have to do, that you can't kill the boss that you want to kill until you check off that box for the chore. So I guess part of what I'm saying is like counterintuitive, or it's like pushing it doesn't align with what I do in RuneScape. But most of the time I'm doing stuff in RuneScape that I enjoy the process of. Everything that I've done so far in TCG Pocket, it feels all chore. So there are interactions in RuneScape. Chores unlock fun things. I've not found the fun thing in TCG Pocket yet. I didn't. Even when I hit
weird.
Even when I hit the cards, it didn't feel good. And like, what is your end goal with TCG Pocket? Like you want to just learn the game, play the game? Do you want to like climb the ladder?
Not even that. For me, it's completing the set. Like logging in every day, opening my 1 or 2 packs, watching little animation of the little cards going in the slots in my binder.
See, that was all just painful to me.
No, I love that. I think that's such a good idea.
If my goal was completing the set, I would put $50 in and I would rip till I completed the set. Or maybe it's 150. Like I don't even know what the cost is to set completion. But like then when you think about it in that respect, it's like, what's the point? It's like I just, and I'm not saying like don't enjoy it yourself. I'm just explaining why I don't enjoy it. I
don't know. I think it's the same as collecting. Like it's fun because you're on the journey of chasing that complete set. Once you dump a ton of money and complete that set, it's like, okay, let me list this for sale on Instagram.
I don't collect Pokemon cards anymore, really.
That's why you don't like Pokemon Pocket. There's no marketplace to sell the cards. Once they come out with a virtual eBay to sell your virtual cards, you're gonna love it.
They did, and it's top 3 on Twitch. It's called TCG Card Simulator, and it's like it's huge. Mason was a trendsetter with that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad people enjoy it. Like I think even though I don't enjoy it, even though it's not for me, I think it's good for a hobby as a whole. I think there's some amount of risk. Like I don't think this is big, but there's some amount of risk. Like they are eating into their own consumer base. Like say there's a certain consumer that loves the game. Say they spend $1,000 a month on Pokemon as it stands, between sitting cuties, between posters, between cards. Some people might expand their budget to allow in TCG Pocket, but some people might spend $300 a month less on cardboard to spend it all in there. Like people's money's limited. Some people might expand that if they really enjoy all of it, but some people to an extent might drop off the physical in sole pursuit of the digital. But like honestly, as Pokemon, you click a button to reprint stuff. You like to reprint stuff. And I don't know if they'll do that. I'll be interested. These 3 sets they have the Mewtwo art, the Pikachu art, and the Charizard art. Will those be retired someday? Will they come out with future sets? Like, I don't know what they'll do with that. It's interesting.
They have to come out with new sets.
But like, will they retire old stuff? Will they reprint old stuff on a limited basis? Will they increase the price of like? It's actually like part of the reason that I'm making myself do the chore of playing it daily for a week is I'm very intrigued by what it could be in the long term for Pokemon. I like the prospects of Pokemon making a crap ton of money for very little effort. As they do with Pokemon Go, it just means it's more likely Pokemon will be around as an IP a decade from now, a century from now. So I'm all for anything that leads to that.
It'll be interesting. I do think Pokemon's going to absolutely make a fortune off of this, though. And yeah, I am curious of like how often we'll get new sets. Will it be like is it going to follow like the regular sets where we get like 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 a year, or what's going to happen there? That'll be interesting. Hey, there's some good jokes on those popsicle sticks.
Here's a good question, Whoopie Boy, and then we'll probably wrap up. We'll probably wrap up after this because I think I caught them all. But how do you both decide how much money to take out of the hobby versus keeping as much churning for margin as possible? So me personally, I have a sugar mama who pays all the bills. My wife is a teacher. Her teacher
There we
salary,
go.
it pretty much matches, like aside from what we pay in taxes. So I need to cover a little bit of our household expenditure because like her gross salary is about 60, which is about what we spend as a family. So I take out a little bit to pay our tax burden, and I take out a lot of it to fill all my buckets. Don't make me show the buckets again. So non-negotiable, the things that I have to do, all these things, 401ks, IRAs, that is priority number one. I do all those first. And every penny extra though, every penny that I can't jam into a tax advantage bucket goes back into the business. Occasionally, if a different opportunity were to present itself, like I took out a bunch in 2021 to pay off, 2020. I took out a bunch in 2020 to pay off my house because the opportunity presented itself. And I had a thought in my mind that I would do this full time someday. So if an opportunity presents itself, I might take out a bunch in one lump sum to pursue something else. But like generally speaking, my plan moving ahead is to take out that fixed amount to live our daily lifestyle, and then to do all of our retirement obligations the way that I see them. So once all the retirement obligations are met, once all the spending is met, every additional penny goes back in to cardboard. So if there ever comes a day, and I think I've been close multiple times, if there comes a day where like I don't have the time to spend and fulfill and sell all the stuff that I have, but I'm setting myself up in a way where I'm scaling my fulfillment and shipping side by having Ponga and BK live stream, by having Fanatics, by sending some to James. So I'm really increasing my ability to move stuff out in a more passive manner where I'm not the one packing the order. So I don't think there will ever be a time where I can't like spend all my money and have the ability to sell it all too, because a lot of that is just being automated and outsourced. Mm-hmm. What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same way, only not as organized, not nearly as good about it as you are. But yeah, mainly pay my bills, set money aside into my savings and retirement and all that stuff, and then just keep the rest in my business account. When I need money for whatever, I'll take it out and put it into my personal. And yeah, the rest is just for cards. Yeah, I don't spend much outside of Pokemon. Very, very little. I go out to eat a good bit, but that's like $20 a time I go out to eat. So that's not much. Outside of that, I don't spend money outside of Pokemon.
Yeah, so I think that is going to wrap it up. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Definitely a livelier crowd than we're used to. The market is absolutely booming. Surging Sparks, Prismatic Evolutions, all these things. The Team Rocket set. It's a wild time right now. Oh yeah, what? Very quickly to end it. Very quickly, we're both live streaming. 2 weeks ago, we had Master Set Games on. It would have been an interesting thing to ask him at the time too, but like, Fanatics Live is quite small. eBay Live is quite small relative to whatnot, relative to the whole like live streaming culture, live streaming arena. Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing it translate in Ponga and PK's numbers of viewership. Like right now, Alex Nostalgianomics, he's having double, triple his normal viewership. PokeFlipz, KetchumAllCollectibles live streams, double plus average viewership of the year. I'm not seeing a lot of it in my regular YouTube videos, and I'm not really seeing it in the live stream selling. So yeah, what do you think on that? Are you seeing it much there? What are your thoughts around all that?
No, I'm kind of in the same boat. Viewership on eBay Live has been about the same. I haven't noticed much of an increase at all. There hasn't been any dramatic shifts. I did hop into Ray's stream because I got a notification that he was live. Or not Ray, but Ray's account. He was live while we were live, and it seemed like he had about the same amount of viewership as well. Now that's just one Whatnot account, but it is interesting that a lot of these are more like YouTube focus, YouTube Live specifically, maybe like regular YouTube videos like Alex's channel, but YouTube Live and then like eBay regular buy it now in auction seems to be where a lot of this is focused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. It's in like it was literally like a switch flipped 3 weeks ago, and it just doubled the YouTube live viewership for whatever reason. And I don't think every channel's seen it the same way. I watch a lot of different live streams, and some have seen it, some have seen it to a lesser extent, but I think some have been pretty much flat from where they've been. I'm definitely feeding into it. We have a normal PokeFlipz live stream thumbnail that we've been using all year, and does that solely account for the doubling, or like I have no idea.
Yeah, we should have kept. Dang it, we should have thought of that. We should have kept it the same and see if we doubled.
No, I wanted to double. It's like that's the big thing about clickbait is like if you think you put out good content that's worthwhile to watch and consume, it's like why would you not try to get more people in there? They can always click off it easily if they want to, but the game of clickbait is an interesting one that. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to throw that last little thing out there. We did get our nearly 2.5 hours in. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Nick and I will have a little bit of hanging out going on this weekend. We're both going to be at the same wedding, so excited to see him. Excited for that. I'm sure we'll talk about that down the line in a future PokeFlipz. But yeah, appreciate everyone watching. We will catch you all later.
Have a good weekend.